My name is Raph. I am playing Grinner, a barbarian human running from his past as an ex-soldier, now turned mercenary.
Hey everyone, I'm Jared. I'm playing the character of Luther. He's a Dhampire. He is a fighter that specializes in firearms, a bit of an investigator, and I am the great uncle of Grinner.
Hi, I'm Jacob. I'm playing Tithla, the Goblin Ranger. She is a wonderful hunter and medical genius.
Hi, I'm Haz. I'm playing Theodore, the Satyr Druid, who's a kind of a charismatic druid who's unwillingly taken Tithla under his wing as she's followed him through the forest for the past few months.
G'day, I'm Tom. I'm playing Jonor, the Aasimar Wizard. He is on the pursuit of good and evil, finding out the best and worst in this world, and he's doing that with a little bit of naivety and optimism.
And I'm Owen, the Dungeon Master of our Curse of Strahd campaign. Hello! Hey. Hello, everybody! Hello, and welcome back to the Lost Archives for Curse of Strahd, the premier horror D&D campaign that you can find on the internet. Look, it's a fact. I've said it online, so it has to be true because it's on the internet.
Out of all of them.
Out of every single Curse of Strahd, this is the best. That's just a fact. Thank you so much for joining us. We are so stoked to have you on board for our Curse of Strahd campaign. We have been having an absolute blast playing through. You can hear, for those of you who are podcast listeners, you just heard Jacob's dulcet tones returning through your earpieces. That's right, he's back. Tithla's. We haven't told him yet about what happened to Tithla. Nothing. Tithla's fine. But we've been sort of holding that over him all week, and I've not said anything about Tithla. And then when he joined on this today, I sort of did this whole thing about being like, oh, this is so awkward. I forgot to tell you about Tithla. Could you get like D&D Beyond open and start working on a backup character, please? He didn't fall for it. It's a shame. Clearly, he must have watched the last episode. And you can too. You can catch up on all previous episodes on YouTube and on the podcast anytime you want. That's right. If you have enjoyed it and if you are watching us recorded or listening to us recorded, thank you so much. Give us a like, give us a subscribe or whatever equivalent there is. I know Spotify does stars and iTunes does stars and other things do other things. Do the things that make us be happy. Make me happy.
Please
do the things.
Us.
Do the thing. You know the drill. Do the thing. The thing that makes us good. Thank you. Thank you everybody who's been coming and joining us for the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet streams on the weekends. We've been having a lot of fun with those too. When it works. Sometimes when looking at things, it's like I'm watching a stop motion animation, but not the good one, like Wallace and Gromit, like the one that you make in high school when you have your dad's camera and Microsoft, what was that, Movie Maker or whatever it was called? I don't know if
PowerPoint.
Yeah, PowerPoint.
Little stop motion animations. Yep.
Yeah. I love
everywhere.
Exactly. I love the game for the gameplay, for the story, but fuck me, Nintendo. Patch the graphical issues for the love of God. For the love of Arceus, patch these issues, guys. My game has crashed on stream about 3 times, off stream more than that. And I don't know what it is about what I'm doing that's so intensively resource heavy for you. Maybe it's all the Pokemon eggs I'm hatching because I'm trying to spam some shinies. Who knows? But whatever it is, it's really pissing you off. And I'm sorry, but sometimes when I like to play Pokemon games, I like to catch Pokemon. Crazy. Stop crashing games when I'm catching Pokemon.
So returning to
what we're actually talking about, so I'm over it. But no, so thank you everybody who's been checking those out and joining us live. Episodes of that are going to be coming out every day over the next 2 weeks. Every single day there's a new episode of Pokemon up on YouTube, so go and check it out. If you want to see some terrible Photoshop skills for the title screens, you're in luck, YouTube. You're going to see them on every single one because I've had a lot of fun photoshopping shit Pokemon and my face onto other characters. I enjoy this. It gives me kicks. I do it for every game I play and it makes me happy. Thank you to the person who gave me the feedback. Hey, that looks like a terrible Photoshop job. You know what? You're right. It's deliberate. I like it. I really enjoy it. I could sit down and spend some time doing it properly. But you know what's funnier? Irritating you by doing it terribly. So guess what? The next one I do is going to be even worse. I might even have half the Pokemon facing the wrong direction. Why? I don't know. Because I feel like it. That's right. This is how I get my kicks now. That's my salty rant over. Thank you, genuinely thank you for those of you who've been watching it. I really appreciate it. There'll be lots more of that content coming out, and obviously on Saturdays we do our multiplayer sessions. Anyone who has Pokemon Scarlet or Violet and wants to join in, Jacob has if you're up at 8:30 on a Saturday morning for Jacob, 7:30 for Haz, please feel free to come and jump in. It is a lot of fun if you're doing the multiplayer sessions, and there is a pretty cool Terra raid battle coming up with the 6-star Charizard. 7-star Charizard, and it's a special Charizard that has the Terra type of Dragon. It's a special event. It's only available for 4 days, and one of those days is the Saturday. And it's going to be
Charizard can't be Dragon type.
It's a Terra type Dragon Charizard, special release only for 4 days, and it's going to be level 100 to catch. So it's going to be a rough raid battle to do. And Charizard's move pool with a Dragon type Terra is pretty nasty. Like if you jump in there with a Fairy type, particularly what's that fairy steel one that everyone loves, the giant smack and hammer? Tinkerton. Fuck me. Overpowered much. Yeah, but steel type is going to be a real problem. So we'll have to find some alternate fairies. I'm thinking I'm going to have to go with an Aasimar, which is one of my least favorite Pokemon, because at least then it's water fairy. That's enough about Pokemon. Let's do Curse of Strahd. Now I think did someone say they had a D&D story for us? I think Raph, you said you had a D&D story to share. It was the opposite of Jared's Tales of Terror from last time.
Yes. It was the absolute antithesis of that. This guy, man, all right. So he was a good DM in a lot of respects, in that he could absolutely lay down an amazing story. He could grip you. He could get you right in there. He could, make shit off the top of his head. But we were playing for 2 years in that campaign, I think. And to lay a little bit of the groundwork, I moved quite a few times in that time period. I went from, being maybe 15 minutes away from him to, I think the furthest I moved away was an hour and a half, and I was still making the drive to the live game every week. These were weekly games for 2 years.
That's rough.
You know what level we got to by the time that we all gave up?
At 2? I'm going to guess 3.
We made it to level 4.
Oh.
Level 4 in 2 years.
Oh, no. That's 100. Yeah, I was about to say 100 sessions. Oh.
Yeah. And what level does your build come online?
It was so
level 2. He was laughing. Oh my god, guys! I just got access to my 3rd cantrip. I'm ready to go.
It was the worst. It took us so long, so story heavy, so story driven. We were playing maybe 4 to 5 hours for each game, each time we played.
Like 500 hours.
Was each minute in game time equal to each minute in real life time? Because then that does kind of make a bit more sense, the leveling up. Because I don't know about you, but it does take me a little bit to learn a brand new skill and to master it. So maybe that makes a bit of sense. I'm still working on one of the Beat Saber tracks 6 months on, and I've not got it yet. So I get it. I kind of get it.
Well, don't they say 500 hours to master a skill? So there you go.
There you go, Raph. Yeah. What are you whinging about?
Master a skill.
Do you know what, Jacob? Jacob, you're right. I'm implementing this in this campaign from now on. Each level up takes 500 hours. Wow, that is in-game hours. That's rough. That is really rough. What class were you playing? Just to give us an idea of how bad it was. Because a wizard, for example, you're crying. That's just...
No,
that's
I was a Bardlock. So I'd actually... Took 2 of Bard and then was like, oh, fuck yeah, level 3. I'll take a level of Warlock. And, and then...
And that was 1 year in?
Yep.
Yeah. We're just now, actually. Not even kidding.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. So it was fun in that he was a good DM for a lot of the actual descriptions and gameplay and RP and stuff like that, but just didn't want to give the XP out.
What? Did he have a reason?
Honestly, it was one of the first games that I'd ever been a part of, and I didn't question it. I was just like, yeah, cool, this is D&D, I guess.
I do have a hypothesis, because I've seen this before. Not as bad as that. Nowhere near as bad as that. I challenge anyone on the internet to have a story as bad as that, in terms of how long you have to wait for a level up. But I do know that a number of DMs, especially those who haven't been DMing for huge amounts of time and might only be used to the lower levels, because most of the campaigns, as they're written, kind of stop or peter out around like a level 12 or level 13-ish. So a lot of DMs are very comfortable running encounters and managing difficulty between levels 1 to 5. And normally when it gets above level 5, I have noticed that some DMs kind of overcommit to CR ratings and challenge ratings, or under. And so sometimes it can be a bit tricky to manage those. I'm wondering if this is like a hyper extreme version where he's like, you know what, I know CR rating 1 and 2 really well. That's it. We're stopping there.
Where does throwing 2 shadows at a party of level 2s fall on that overall CR thing?
I would like to point out that the original module has 4, so you are already 2. No, it's actually, I think it's even 5. 5. So you are already 3 shadows better than what you deserve. So that's what I counted. I couldn't resist. No, that's Raph. That's rough, buddy. That's So what was the, like? I want to kind of understand how, because you've made it through 2 years. What was the moment when everyone was like, you know what, fuck this? Like, was it like a particularly bad session where he was like, you guys fought like some, I don't know, some cats, like?
It just boiled down to COVID hit. And everyone just couldn't make it to the games, and it just stopped. Like, I'd probably still be there, maybe level 5 if I was lucky.
Yeah, no, 3 years ago. No, but as you get higher level, the level ups space apart more and more. Yeah. So maybe you'd be level 4.
4.5.
Yeah, you'd be approaching level 5, and maybe you've picked up a magic item by this point.
Oh, if I'm lucky.
Yeah. Maybe a +1 weapon, a +0.5 weapon.
It's just a generic bag of holding, so the DM doesn't have to worry about party inventory management.
Yeah. Oh, classic. Or like, you found some boots of Elvenkind. Well done. Enjoy. Here you are. Oh, I actually like the boots of Elvenkind, but yeah, it's a nice, easy one to throw players. That's a rough story, and you're right. It is almost the antithesis of Jared's experience, where you've got someone who's great at the world building, not so great at the mechanics, whereas Jared's one loved the mechanics. He's shaking his head. Look at, for podcast listeners,
2D cardboard world.
Yeah. If you sneeze, it's dropping. For podcast listeners, Jared shook his head with a degree of pain and hurt in his eyes I've actually not seen before. I think it's still a bit raw. I think that memory. So we won't pour salt too much on that wound. We'll jump straight into the recap and jump into Curse of Strahd. Alrighty, let me do the recap and then we will get going. The Tempest Adventuring Guild, a name now legendary across the world of Nostea, has just recruited some new members for a specialised team. Jonor the Wizard, Tithla the Ranger, Luther the Fighter, Grinner the Barbarian, and Theodore the Druid have now all signed on with the guild to investigate a puzzling mystery. The long-ruined town of Darbridge is the site of several disappearances, including 2 full adventuring parties. After arriving in the ruined town, the group tracked the missing adventurers into a mysterious manor which appeared out of the mists like magic. Once inside, however, our heroes have found themselves trapped. After exploring the lower floors and finding evidence of the missing adventurers, the team headed upstairs and soon found themselves experiencing more and more haunting and creepy encounters. Locating the ghosts of some of the previous inhabitants of the manor, the nursemaid Margaret and the 2 Durst children, Rose and Thorn, the party have taken their bodies down into the now revealed basement and laid the children and the nursemaid to rest. Exploring the basement, the group found a number of dangerous foes, including a carrion crawler and some reanimated necrotic human skin. Following the sounds of chanting deeper and deeper under the manor, Luther and Grinner discovered an altar adorned with animal parts as offering, and a large crystal focus. Feeling uneasy, Grinner and Jonor decided to smash the altar. Jonor deciding, Grinner smashing, releasing 2 shadowy entities which surrounded Grinner. Grabbing at the orb, Grinner found himself lost in a dream where he was a wolf hunting a deer with the rest of his pack. For the others, Grinner seemed frozen in place while these 2 dark figures began reaching towards him and inside his body. We left off last session as I threw all of you into initiative. Theodore and Tithla, you have been guarding the corridor just towards the the northwest of the rest of the party. Having heard a strange baying bark coming from a passageway down towards the south, you have decided to kind of keep watch about other things that might be coming, as well as keep an ear out and an eye on the source of the mysterious and creepy chanting coming from the passageway to the west. As we jump into initiative, I actually rolled really well for Tithla, so the person who wasn't here last session is actually the first to act. Tithla, you hear the sounds of this almighty crash coming from the room towards the east as Grinner smashes down something on this altar. As it cracks open, you probably hear an exclamation of surprise from Jonor. I'd say Jonor's probably the least experienced with combat and surprising. Probably goes, "Oh!" as he sees these two shadowy figures emerge. And then you hear this, probably maybe, what do you reckon, Luther? An oh fuck?
If it actually, I actually called them.
Oh, you did.
I said,
That's right.
I said, hey guys, pretty much along the lines of, we've got a situation over here, probably come over.
Tithla, that's what you hear. You're currently sitting on the back of Theodore, who is in his Bjornling form. You've seen the artwork of the Bjornling, yeah. So this large bear-like form, hind legs of a deer, and the front antlers of a large stag.
Well then, the only thing that Tithla could do is slap the rear end of Theo, draw her bow, and say, "Let's go save him."
Okay, perfect. Because
her attack something.
Yeah, I was going to say, ready to action probably makes sense. So because you are riding on the back of Theodore, your movement options are limited unless you jump down. Otherwise, you can hold your action, and then when you get into range or when you get into sight of a threatening creature, you can then unleash an arrow. Absolutely. Great held action. I love it. Next up is...
dead last in initiative, by the way.
Dead last, yeah. But that's great, because Tithla's technically going to get like 2 turns in a row then. So that's actually not too... That could be powerful. Jonor, you are up next. You see Grinner. Head is locked back. Eyes sort of not really visible from where you are, with his bowler hat on that he stole from upstairs, clutching this white orb in one hand, this white crystal orb. And the two creatures, they look to be made of a mixture of black cloth flapping in this ethereal wind, leaking black shadow. And as they see Grinner holding this orb, one of them reaches up and slowly caresses down his face and then pushes its hand into his chest. And that's what you see.
He is shocked and startled to see that. As initially when he's frozen, it's like, that's very unlike Grinner to do that. And then as the shadow starts to intrude in his body, he's thinking, if he's getting possessed, I've seen what happens to other people. He thinks back to the leather skins that were flapping around in the earlier session. He's like, I can't let this happen. And he thinks what can I do to make this right? And he imagines a future where Grinner is saved from this, and this creature would just start hideously laughing. And he casts Tasha's Hideous Laughter with a portent roll to help him out.
Ooh, okay. So I love this. First off, let me quickly get open the stats for this. This is brilliant. So Tasha's Hideous Laughter is a Wisdom save 13, and you're going to automatically make it fail by using your portent roll to give it...
a 10 and a 16, so it needs to roll low, so I'm going to give it the 10.
Give it the 10. I love it. That is absolutely brilliant. Okay, absolutely. Here's what happens. As you reach out and cast this spell, what does the spell look like for you, Jonor, casting Tasha's Hideous Laughter?
So it's going to be him making what he thinks is hilarious jokes, and that's going to be appearing in the creature's mind. So Jonor making awful jokes that, some people would find funny, but wouldn't land on many. Those jokes would appear in the creature's mind, I would imagine.
Yeah, okay, brilliant. You watch as...
Quick question on that.
Yeah.
Would people not find them funny because they're too intellectual, or they're just kind of lame?
Lame. Definitely lame.
Right. You're right.
And
That is
commentary on the surrounding area. So what does Tasha's do? Everything they perceive is hilarious. So it's like me commenting on the altar being like, look, it's cracked. It's like that's not great. You know, he's just not coming up with any zingers at all. They're just all trash.
Okay, that's great. I love that. That's brilliant. Here's what happens. As you reach out and cast this spell and immediately cause it to fail, you watch as the creature turns towards you. Its hand still inside Grinner's chest, and it cocks its head. These sightless black orbs where its eyes should be, looking at you. Somehow you can tell looking right at you. Cocks its head, seems somewhat confused by what you've done. This creature seems to be immune to whatever this spell effect is. Because the effect of Tasha's Hideous Laughter, it's an enchantment, and it causes something to fall prone. Correct?
Yeah.
Shadows are immune to the condition prone.
Oh dear.
So, as you cast...
Standing up,
Yeah, the prone condition, they're immune to it. As you cast this spell and send out this effect, it just turns and looks at you, confused. Anything else on your turn, Jonor?
He would have expected that to work, and getting that response from it would be like a bit shocking for him. And he like takes a step backwards into like the corridor in shock and stands there.
Okay.
And that's what he would do.
Luther, it is your turn next.
Okay, so Jonor's tried and pretty much failed. So how's Grinner looking at the moment?
Grinner, his head is locked back, his hand outstretched, still clutching the crystal orb. From your position, you can't really see his face or eyes. His head's tilted back and the bowler hat is sitting on his head. But he's not moving. He seems to be... And occasionally you watch as his body kind of twitches a bit as muscles seem to activate and twitch.
So does it look like the shadows are doing this to him, or does it look like the orb is doing
You notice that this happened when he grabbed the orb. The shadows have interacted with him after that, a good sort of like 5 seconds after he grabbed it. So right at the very end of their turn, they sort of, because we're sort of working on 6 seconds around, right at the end of his turn of grabbing it, they then kind of like reached in.
Okay. Does he still have... He would still have my crowbar.
Yes, he still has the crowbar. Actually, yeah, no, he still does, because he's holding it in his offhand. It's just sort of down... Oh, well, maybe not his offhand. Whatever hand's not clutching the orb is down at his side, holding the crowbar loosely.
Okay, I'm going to move forward.
I cast heat metal on the crowbar.
I'm going to grab the crowbar.
Yeah, you just take it off him. His hand is slack and just lets go. As you well, not even lets go. As you just pull it out, it just comes free.
And then I'm going to sort of wedge it underneath the orb and try and yank it out so he's not grabbing it anymore and I'm not touching it.
Brilliant. Yeah, Luther, as you come to this position, because you are currently behind him, you don't really want to reach around towards the shadows. From this angle, as you pull yourself around his body, leaning over him, you can see his face. His eyes are completely white. There is no pupil, no iris, nothing. Just this white, milky covering across his eyes. And you can see his eyelids flickering as if he's like almost in REM sleep, but with his eyes open. Could you please make me a sleight of hand check or an athletics check to try and pry this free?
Yeah, we're doing sleight of hand. 15.
And are you 15? And are you trying to sort of like pry it free and just let it drop to the ground, or are you trying to catch it? Okay, cool.
I don't want to catch
Brilliant.
it. I don't. Maybe not like. I mean, it's pretty quick. Like, pretty quick thinking, like, pretty running in there. Like, I probably won't... I'm probably just going to try and get it out of his hand. I don't want to touch it. I don't want him to touch it. So, unfortunately, it will hit the ground. It might
That's okay.
crack or something. But
could you roll me a percentile dice? His hand is outstretched above the altar because that's what he grabbed it off of. He didn't have time to pull his hand away. As he picked it up, that's when this thing activated. So, it's still above the altar. I want to see a percentile dice to see how bad this is.
So you want to see 100?
Yes, please. Just want to see what happens.
86.
86.
It could be good or bad.
As you pry the orb free, it drops, and as it falls down onto the altar, it knocks into one of the bowls, causing the edge of the bowl to whip up, flinging what looks to be the teeth that you saw before, these canine teeth, flings the canine teeth up into the air. It then rolls backwards, the bowl kind of dampening some of the drop, and as it connects with the back wall, with this tink, a very faint sounds from the edge of the orb. But nothing else happens as far as you can see. The second you pry this out of Grinner's hands, Grinner, your head snaps down. You are conscious, you are awake, you remember the dream vividly as you were tearing into this creature's throat. The warm blood, this warm iron salt blood dripping across your tongue. That's when this vision or this dream or this experience ended, and you come to right as that happens. And as your head drops down, for a second you can still taste that blood on your lips and on your tongue. So Grinner, you are in the initiative order. It's actually perfect timing because you're next. Luther, was there anything else you wanted to do?
So I've probably done, I think, probably prying.
That's an action.
Like a main action. Yep.
Definitely.
Do I actually have any bonus? Nah, not really. I think because I'd probably try and start attempting to maybe at least bring him back. But
Oh yeah, you can. I'd say you can drag him. I would allow that because you kind of had to like half climb over him to pry this out. You can then use your movement speed to try and pull him back.
I'll pull him back as far as I can.
Yeah, Grinner, do you go along with this?
I'm going to have to roll for this because I'm still in frenzied dog mode right now.
Oh god.
What do you think would be appropriate? A D20, anything above a 15, and I don't want to go with him?
I was wondering you could do it as a wisdom save, and if you fail the wisdom save, set it as DC maybe 11 or 10, or make it 12 maybe. What do you think's fair?
I make it.
Good.
20, you make it. Grinner, as you snap back, you've experienced not visions, but moments of fear on the battlefield when you were a very young man. And sometimes in those moments of battle, you can see things that aren't there. You can feel things that aren't real. You know that wasn't real, what you just experienced. You hope that wasn't real, what you just experienced. You're not sure. You know this is real, this moment. But there's something about that experience that still kind of weighs on your mind. But as Luther begins to drag you away, you have enough sense of self to look back and notice it's Luther. Whether you go with him is up to you, but you're not still lost in this experience, in this dream sequence anymore.
No, I'll go with him. And I hope that dream sequence wasn't real because I really enjoyed it.
Luther, you can move half your movement dragging Grinner away. Just keep in mind that you are open to attacks of opportunity from the two shadows. Luther, not Grinner, because Grinner's the one being dragged.
Yep,
Grinner, as you're
fine.
like pulled down. Yep. Just so you know, just wanted you to know that. Where would you like to move? Back towards Jonor?
Just trying to think.
You can get to the entrance of the passageway. That's 10 feet away.
10.
That's
20 feet. I still have 15 feet left. Yeah, okay, that'd be fine, because if I put Grinner there, that's good.
Grinner, as Luther begins to drag you away, you look down and see one of the hands of this shadow slowly come out of your chest. But it's not empty. It's holding this glowing light that looks like a heart. A real heart, a human heart, still beating, but made of this white crystal and glowing faintly. And as the creature looks down and examines it, it holds it up as you are pulled back away with Luther. Luther, as you move, one of the other creatures quickly reaches in and grabs into your mind. Could you please make me a wisdom saving throw?
Alright. 19.
19. You feel cold as this thing reaches inside your head. You immediately rear back in fear. This thing looked like it was trying to grab something, and as it pulls its hand away, empty as you step away, you can see that it's not holding anything, but there was a faint glimpse of light as it reached inside your head, but you pull back before anything could happen. As you grab and drag Grinner away, Grinner, this thing looks like it's holding a human heart that it pulled from your chest, but made of white crystal and glowing. Grinner, it's your turn. What would you like to do?
Can I roll for is my heart gone?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say that's probably a nature, arcana, or medicine check, and I will answer what you know depending on which one you roll.
I will probably do, I think, medicine on that. Where's medicine gone there?
Medicine.
Oh, no.
5. Grinner, it could be. You've never seen your heart before. I mean, you know that most hearts tend to be red and squishy, but I mean, this could be your heart. It reached into your chest. It's now holding something. It could be. Magic's weird, man. You don't know.
Which one has it?
The closer one to you.
The closer one.
The one on the right-hand side of the altar. Oh, the left-hand side of the altar as you look at the altar. It's just holding it as if it's a collector appraising an item that they've just received, looking over. It's hard to tell expression because this thing has no real face, just this sort of outline of what looks like a skull under the black sheet. But these empty eye sockets are looking at this thing very intently as it turns it around in its bony fingers and examines it.
No, I want that back. That's mine. I'm going to run forward and try and grab it off him.
Fantastic. So you're going to try and like rip it out of its hands?
Yeah.
Brilliant. I'm going to say that is a athletics or sleight of hand check. Your choice. Athletics not being careful, sleight of hand being careful.
Oh no, I'm not being careful. I'm just going
Brilliant. That's what I want to hear. Yeah, make me an athletics check. 24. You just, as you run up, you kind of shoulder check this thing in your haste to get there. You don't judge distance very quickly. And as you stand up and stumble forwards with Luther dragging you, you kind of lose footing a little bit. Some loose bones from the skeletonized remains of a prisoner shackled behind you as you stood up cause you to slip and tumble forwards. And as you crash into this thing, its grip is loosened just enough that you just snatch this thing out of its hands. As soon as you touch it, you feel this warmth from it. And as it beats in your hand, you feel that this is yours. You want this. This is your heart. And as the thing sort of stumbles back... Sorry, you go. No, you go.
Fuck off, dickhead. Give it back.
It sort of like stumbles back and turns towards you, mouth socket opening up into this dark black abyss as it breathes in this... as it stares at you. What do you do? I'd say that's an action to ram it and take your heart back. Is there anything else you want to do?
I'm going to try and shove it in my chest.
Wonderful. As you grab this thing and push it into your chest, there's a moment of resistance and then it sinks in. Grinner, this is very good you've done this. You feel no ill effects, no issues at all. As you push this in and this warmth resonates through your chest and your heart begins boom, boom, boom. You realize you hadn't felt your own internal heartbeat for a moment there. You hadn't been aware of it for a moment there, and as you put this back in and it starts beating, you feel your strength and your life and warmth flowing once more, but you hadn't noticed they were gone. It's only when it's returned that you suddenly realize that this has been taken from you. Anything else on your turn, Grinner? Did you want to use any more movement, or are you okay?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna... Oh, fuck. There's too many people in the way up there.
Sorry.
There's a passageway to the south. What's that?
I'm panicking a little.
What's that? Sorry, what's that? Sorry, Jacob. What's that?
This is fucked up. You can't be doing this. This
what do you mean?
Not okay. If this is what it is, I don't want to do this.
What are you talking about? What's wrong?
This is scary.
Are you spooked?
I don't like it.
Yes. It only took me 4 sessions, and Jacob's now like, oh, I don't like this.
I don't like it.
Yes. Fucking hell. I've never run a horror campaign before, but I'm diving in head fucking first, everybody. It's just I just literally put in an order everything that would terrify me, and then I took it up a notch. So enjoy.
So I'm going to try and get away.
Yep.
5, 10. I'm trying to skirt around this one.
Fantastic. One of them hasn't taken its opportunity attack. One did against Luther, but the one that held your heart didn't. As you go to move away, it reaches out again. This time, trying to reach in for your chest. Could you please make me a wisdom saving throw?
It's got to be wisdom.
Yeah, it does. It does. Sorry.
Let's try.
Okay.
3. As you run, as you turn and run, as you get to the end of the hallway and turn back, this thing is holding what looks to be a lung. this crystalline, white, glowing object, this lung. And as you breathe in, your chest feels a bit tight, Grinner.
I fucking smoked too much. I need that. I need both of them.
Grinner, that's your go. And unfortunately, that is the Shadow's go. If you haven't guessed, these aren't normal shadows. The creature that was holding your lung, Grinner, examines it and then presses it inside its own chest. And you watch as this glow, as it breathes in this... As the air fills its lungs, you watch as its chest takes on a much more corporeal form, and you can see your lung inside this thing filling with air, and then as it breathes out, the lung contracts. It then turns towards Luther and moves up towards Luther, hand outstretched. Luther, it's going to move up and try and take something from you. It reaches inside of you. Could you please make me a wisdom saving throw?
Gonna use my
Actually, no, sorry. It's just done that. It can't do the wisdom save. No. Even though that was an opportunity attack, sorry, that is wrong. It can't do this again. By my own rules that I put in place, it can't do this again. It's going to do a weapon.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to do a melee attack.
Okay, all right.
Brilliant. Oh no, this isn't good. Luther, as this thing reaches out its hand stretching towards you, it sort of stops as it realizes it can't do this thing again, and instead leans towards you, and you hear it speaking this ushering voice now that it has air to fill its lung. This language, guttural and raspy, echoes through your mind. As you feel it begin to take root, something is very wrong. These words are poison in your ear, but you manage to shake off the attack as a 6 doesn't hit you, does it?
Oh no.
As
that's why you
this...
said it was bad. I thought you got a crit.
Oh no.
Okay, cool.
It was bad for the shadows. As it begins whispering this effect, it fails to take hold and nothing happens. The other shadow, which has not taken an organ this turn, moves towards Grinner. Grinner, can I have a wisdom saving throw, please, my friend?
You can.
You
Good
do
thing
have
it's bonus organs.
needed.
Hope he goes for a kidney this
Oh,
time.
goody.
5.
You have inspiration. What do you take?
You have an inspiration from interring the bodies, remember? Do you want to use it now or save it for when it tries to take something really important?
Well, I don't know what it's taking, but no, I've
Oh, okay,
got
yeah,
lots
sorry,
of
I should-
organs left.
I should tell you what this one's taking. It reaches out with its hands, and its hands reach into around your skull, and for a second you're scared it's going to take your brain. But instead, as it pulls back, it pulls out one of your eyes.
Am I blind in one eye now?
Not that you're aware of. As it takes the
But you are
eye
looking at
and
yourself
holds
from
at
that
the
eye
eye.
pulled out.
Yeah. No, you're not. No. As it removes this image of the eye, sort of looks at it, appraises it, and then presses it into its own eye socket. And then as it pulls down, you can see your eye moving around inside this thing's skull. That's its full turn. Theodore, what would you like to do, buddy?
Well, I mean, I heard Luther call that he needs help, so me with teeth on my back are going to run ourselves over, although I guess Jonor is flat in the way there.
Yeah, as you run to the corridor, you can see Jonor and Luther currently blocking the way. From your position there, Tithla, you can just see this creature, but it is going to be with a little bit of cover for you to make your opportunity attack. Oh, your held action. But your held action does go off.
Am I able to push through these guys like they're difficult to like shoulder Jonor and Luther out of the way?
Absolutely. Yeah, 100%. I think that's absolutely fair enough.
Yeah,
I don't think.
You're in big bear form. You can just crunch them underfoot.
I don't think we would like. We'd probably hear you coming. I think we would at least attempt to.
Yourself
Like,
together.
Yeah. No, I'd say you can move over them as if they're difficult terrain. I like that a lot. So then so you moved 5, 10, 15 to get to theirs, 25, and then you can kind of push around Luther to get to their 35. What's your movement? Oh no, sorry, 35 would be there, then 45 would be there.
My movement be I'm in bear form.
You're in bear form.
40 feet, yeah.
Brilliant. So I will say that as you move down this diagonal here, you can. I'll be generous. I'll say you can push yourself to there, which brings Tithla into the room too. As you pull in, Tithla,
like endangering miners.
Exactly. Your held action does go off, Tithla, because your held action was when you could see creatures of threat, so it does go off before Theodore finishes his turn. You can see 2 creatures of threat, one threatening Luther, one currently threatening Grinner. The one threatening Grinner has an eyeball, the one threatening Luther has a lung. Currently...
Probably the one that was closer to where we were going, we would notice first.
Yes.
So That's the longbow attack.
Yes. 24's going to hit.
Gonna hit. Lovely.
Roll me some damage.
Lovely, lovely.
11 piercing. Nice. As this arrow flies through, you watch as it cuts through the form, and you can see this brief hole appears in its chest where the arrow flied through, not the lung. I'll say it goes through the empty space where the other lung should be. And then slowly, the mist slowly kind of forms and the shadow reforms it. But you can see that it clearly notices as its head jerks up and looks towards you, Tithla, the empty eye socket staring at you. You can tell that you did do something to this creature.
Am I able to strike up through this diagonal, or are we just going...
No, you can strike diagonal. Absolutely. Yeah, I definitely allow diagonal strikes, 100%. So yeah, Theodore, that's Tithla's held action. Theodore, it is your turn.
How noticeable is like the more corporeal lungs?
Oh, so noticeable. It's made of this, like, it looks like it's made of like a white crystal, and it's glowing faintly. And as it breathes in, the lung fully inflates and then fully collapses as well.
And given that it's an obvious target and seems like a weak point to someone who was not there for the the Indiana Jones Aasimar, gotta try and bite it.
Okay, brilliant. Make me an attack. Fantastic. 20's gonna hit. That'll be 5 piercing damage.
I swear if you give me emphysema.
As you bite down, the lung cracks. Rather than biting into something fleshy, which is what you're kind of expecting, the rest of this creature is almost incorporeal. Your maw just closes around, and you feel almost like you're biting into mist. But as you strike onto the lung, it's very solid, almost crystalline solid. And as you clamp down, a crack goes down the entire length of it, and you watch as the bottom half of the lung actually cracks and shatters, turning into this silvery dust that collapses onto the floor and coalesces onto the floor.
With my second multi-attack, would you allow me to try and tear that out now that it's in my mouth?
With your... Oh, so rather than using like your claw attack, just try and rip it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, just do it as if it's a claw attack. That's and then what we'll do is we'll just... Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Just do it as a normal claw attack. I think you might be able to kill this thing. Yeah, that's exactly what you needed. 13 halved takes you to 6 HP left. 14 does hit as well, by the way. Yeah, Theodore, you just reach in and rip this thing out. As you do, there's this moment when there's resistance. As you get to the edge of the shadow, it reaches down with its hands, trying to cling onto this lung with all of its strength, and you just rip your head back, tearing free. The shadow immediately just dissipates into nothing. The lung in your mouth shatters, and this silvery dust pours down your chin and onto the floor. Grinner.
Taste review?
Taste review. It tastes like silica dust. No real flavor at all. The texture is sandy mouthfeel.
Not ideal.
Not ideal. Grinner. As this happens, you take a big breath in, and you feel your lungs fill with air again. Both lungs fill with air.
All right.
It was a good tease. Anything else on your turn, Theodore?
I really didn't put it past you, honestly. I really thought it could have been gone.
What can I say? That's good. I want you to be scared. But remember, you guys are level 2. I'm not gonna remove organs just yet. Well, I say that, but actually the next... No, don't worry about that. You'll be fine. Anything else on your turn, Theodore?
No, that's all from me. I don't think the Belk has any bonus actions.
The Baonling does not. Tithla, I pass over to you. It is your turn.
Tithla would like to move just to the other side of the room to put the wall behind her.
Just jump off Theodore's back and scuttle over to the corner.
Absolutely. Would like to take a steady look at this thing and just get a good look and Hunter's Mark.
Yep.
The thing. And then
put a piece of artwork in the chat for you.
Nice.
Yeah, it's gross. And then we will do a longbow attack.
Brilliant. Make me an attack.
If that's popped up.
Yeah,
16.
Ooh, 16 is going to hit. Would you like to roll me some damagios?
Lovely. I will do that. And then I will also roll
piercing damage. Yep, for Hunter's Mark.
Hunter's Mark damage. Bum, bum, bum. That one. Did that do it?
Brilliant. Yeah, as you stare
total.
As you stare at this thing, Tithla, you can see this eyeball from the back of its head looking through, this corporeal eyeball moving and looking around. As you aim your shot and fire and release this arrow, it shoots through, cutting through part of the creature's neck, what would have been a fatal blow. But for this creature, it just, as Grinner sort of ducks to the side as this arrow flies through the back of it, then through into the front, just narrowly missing him, and cuts through the creature, it sort of turns its sightless eye socket and one movable eye towards you. And you can see it has this one brown eye staring at you, moving in the eye socket loosely. Anything else in your turn, Tithla?
Tithla would go to like do a cheeky grin at it and then notice the gross eye and just sort of cower a little bit instead of having that overconfidence. Nice. It's that.
Brilliant.
Okay, maybe not. Maybe I'm not so sure.
I will pass over to Jonor in that case.
Seeing the first shadow get destroyed, he's got a bit more confidence. He walks into the room and sees the shadow there, grabs his fist, the flame starts to erupt inside of it, and he launches the firebolt.
Brilliant.
Going for the body in particular,
Yep.
knowing that this is his friend's eye, he's going to try to avoid that.
Yeah, because you did see it take it. 18 hits, 7 fire damage. Brilliant. I will take that off. As this bolt of fire strikes into the back of this creature, it almost just is snuffed out by the darkness. You're not sure how much damage that did.
He stands there, and that's all he does.
Alrighty, Luther, I pass over to you.
Okay, I'm going to move up to here. I'm going to pull out my crossbow.
So Luther, you run further into the room, pulling out your crossbow as you go, heading up almost parallel to the altar.
Okay.
Just trying to give the descriptions for podcast listeners.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. So I was like, why did you mention the altar?
No reason, don't worry about it.
Okay. I pull out my crossbow, though, and I take a crossbow attack.
Brilliant. Luther, as you get up to parallel with the altar... no, make me an attack. Natural 1. Oh, the bolt.
The reason I put myself here, though, was I'm firing at an angle, so I was like, that's why.
Yeah, not hitting.
There.
Yep.
So I wouldn't hit Grinner. I did think about my positioning.
It's all good, because instead you hit the ghoul that had been chained to the wall behind as the bolt just into the forehead of this ghoul that had been partially destroyed. The corpse just slumps forward, having taken this arrow hit.
Well, these things happen.
Anything else in your turn?
That is my main action. That's it.
Grinner.
I think that I would like my fucking eyeball back, thank you. I'm going to try and punch it in the head and grab my eye when my hand's inside it.
Okay, make me an unarmed strike, and we will also see what happens with that.
Come on, you bastard, do it. There we go. Oh.
Natural 20, 25. So that is going to be 4 plus a d4, which is going to be 7 bludgeoning damage as you just punch this thing in the face. With a natural 20, I will also say that as you pull back, you tear this crystalline eye out of this creature, and the eye socket that was held in it is collapsed and broken around as like a fish-shaped hole is now where this eye socket used to be. And as you hold the crystalline eye in your hands, yeah, you can almost feel a ghostly after image as if you can see through it.
Fuck you, ghosty, and I'm going to try and put my eye back in my head.
Yeah, as you put it back in, there's this moment of disorientation, and then suddenly you realize you can see depth again. You had lost your depth perception for a bit. You had no idea.
That was very unpleasant. I did not like that at all. I'm a little bit stuck down here, so I guess I will just edge around the corner a little bit.
Oh, fantastic. Grinner, as you move around the corner.
I'm still within its range, aren't I?
Look at where the wall is and the way it cuts into the thing. I will say that you know that if you move back, you're probably going to be triggering some sort of opportunity attack.
Yeah, I'll stay within its reach.
Alrighty.
Right where I am.
Which takes us... The shadows have disappeared from the initiative. I know they had an initiative of 8, so I will move them. It's because I deleted the one that actually had rolled the initiative for. So the shadows are next in that order. The Shadow Grinner, seemingly having lost interest in you, moves towards Tithla. Grinner, you get an attack of opportunity as this thing moves out of your threatened space towards Tithla.
I'm gonna punch it in the head again.
Go for it. Let's see it. I'm excited. 15. 5 bludgeoning damage. Brilliant. I will mark that off. As you just punch it in the back of the head, your hand goes partly into the skull, and then as you pull it out and remove it, the creature just moves away as if nothing happened. Tithla, what's your favourite organ?
Break it, bitch.
What's your favourite organ, Tithla?
Probably her mouth. Like, she's mouthy.
Yeah, you did mention the spleen before too. I do.
The small
You got 2
intestine.
kidneys, right? You can have one.
Oh, that's a brilliant idea. Tithla, as this creature reaches towards your stomach, as it crouches down in front of you and then just reaches inside of you, could you please roll me a wisdom saving throw?
I'd really rather not, though.
I know, but unfortunately, 5.
Oh.
This thing reaches in and then it pulls out. For a moment, you think it's some weird length of cloth, and then it keeps pulling and pulling and pulling like a magician's party trick as it unravels your intestines, pulling out this glowing crystalline intestinal mass. And then you watch as it opens this ghastly, unhinged jaw and begins feeding the intestines down its throat. As they lower into the body, they begin forming and wrapping up and forming this intestinal tract that leads all the way back up to the throat. And as this thing... What was it, sorry? Tithla spaghetti. As this thing then looks towards you, Tithla, and lets out this... I think that's probably going to be a sanity check.
That's my food place. That's not fair.
I suspect this is a sanity check.
Oh, this whole thing is sanity check.
Yeah, I realise I probably should have made... Grinner's definitely going to have to make one for me as well. I was going to save it for the end for Grinner, but I might actually, while we're doing this...
3 fucking organs.
Grinner, would you like to roll me... Yeah, actually, that's a good point. Yeah, Grinner, can you roll me a sanity check as well, please?
Sorry, to do that, hit the...
Just
plus
hit
and then
the...
hit cancel.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's a 12 from Grinner, 10 from Tithla. Grinner, that is somehow a bare pass for you as you fight off the effects of this
He's
thing.
seen some shit, let's
Yeah.
be honest.
Tithla, that is not a pass. 10 is a fail. As this creature pulls out your intestines and then adds them to its own body, you do not reduce your sanity because you did not fail by more than 5. But you're not feeling great about this. You now have the frightened condition of this creature. You are now afraid of this creature. That's its full turn. Theodore, it's your turn.
Yeah, look, seeing my little buddy get spaghetterized,
Yep.
running straight over and just putting a big old bear bite right into this big
Yeah.
old crash.
Are you still going for the obvious glowing part of it, the intestines?
100%. That worked last time.
Fantastic. Actually, that's a good point. Raph, could you make a note on your character sheet that you had 1 lung crystallized and destroyed? Theodore, that's a bite of 8. That's a fail, unfortunately.
Oh no.
As you go to bite down on this thing, the shadow moves. It moves almost this unnatural quickness out of the way and turns towards you. Anything else? Do you want to do your claw attack?
Oh, you better believe I do.
10, not enough either.
God.
As you crack down with these claws, again, the shadow just moves off to the side, ducking underneath your blow. Its mouth open as it seems to appraise your Bjornling form and looks at your antlers. Tithla, it's your go. While you are in range of sight of this creature, you have disadvantage on attack rolls and ability checks, and you cannot willingly move closer to it using your movement. Good news is you can't be any closer to it. Wow, maybe that's not good news. Maybe that's bad news.
This isn't fair, and I'm scared.
Yep.
Okay. So she will drop her bow, just straight
Yep.
up drop it,
Okay.
and pull out the hand axe and dagger.
Okay. Yep.
If that's cool.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll say that's a bonus action. That's absolutely fine.
Can it not be?
You want to take the disengage, do you?
No, I want to take 2 weapon fighting as a bonus action.
Ooh, to
I
drop
can
the
have
bow and
second swing.
pull out the weapons. Yeah. Do you know what? I
That's
will.
The plan. That's the thought. Is I want
Yeah,
to swing
I
once
will-
and then-
I will
Up
allow
to
it
you. That's fine.
because you're just sort of dropping your weapon and then reaching at your belt. Yeah, I'll allow it. I'll allow it.
All right. Thank you. That was why it was like I just dropped the bow
Yeah,
rather than
no,
put
that's
it away.
that's fine. No, I'll allow it.
Yes. What a good. It's not true. All those things that we were saying about you. Earlier.
careful.
Not all of them, anyway.
As if it's not true. So she was swing with the dagger. With that +5. Ooh,
19's going to hit. Roll me some DiMaggio's.
Oh, is that a disadvantage?
Oh, yeah, it is. Too.
Yes, it is. That's a good point. Thank you. Natural 1.
Oh,
Thank you, Has.
natural 1 on that one. Great.
Thank you, Has.
Never mind.
As you
now
stab
damage.
forward, the dagger just goes through this thing, and you feel the cold creeping up your arm, and you pull back in fear. 16 and 9, both unfortunately. So natural 1 for 6, 9, both miss. As you try and strike at this thing again, it moves almost unnaturally fast, seemingly empowered by the addition of your intestines.
I just want him back.
Anything else on your turn, Tithla, or are you all done?
No.
All right, Jonor, it's your turn, buddy.
He does the same thing. He's seeing this thing getting a little bit pummeled and launches another firebolt at it.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Don't burn my inside bits.
11. Oh, Jonor, it's just not enough. As you throw this fireball overhead, the creature just ducks underneath the fireball, pff, dissipates on the roof, doing no damage.
Seeing the group efforts to try and collect the organs, he's actually going to move closer to, like, maybe he'll think about helping, and that's what he does.
Moves closer.
No, he still has his bonus action, actually.
Yeah.
He's going to go in there and try and go for a grab, just yank it out. He saw brute force work before. He's going to do the same.
Ooh, okay, yeah. So to try and rip this thing out is going to be more of an action to try and pull it back.
That's fine.
But what I'll say is, using your bonus action and getting up in the way, you can kind of be providing a little bit of assistance to Theodore and Tithla. It's not the help action, but it's a little bit similar to that. So I'll factor that in on the DC save. Luther, it is your turn next.
Okay. I'm gonna go here for now.
Yep.
I like the idea. So Jonor's given the help action to Theodore and Tithla to pull it out.
Kind of the help action, but also not actually the help action, because that's an action.
So Grinner is Grinner's turn next, and I think Grinner really wants his lung back.
Yep.
So I might use my action to provide him the help action to get that back.
Oh, Grinner's got his lung.
Mine's gone.
Grinner's got his lung. It's just the intestines of Tithla left now.
Oh, okay.
Grinner ripped his eye
The
out of this
food
creature.
pipes?
Yep. Your tubes, your food tube.
Okay, go back over here.
Yep.
Because I don't want to kill it before, like, I don't know how this, like, I don't know the lasting ramifications of losing this, like, intestine. So
I'm sure it's
I don't
fine.
want to shoot this thing, take it out, and then, like, destroy, like, the intestines. So
I mean, it's probably fine.
Got 2. That's fine.
Yeah. Well, you've only got one intestine.
We have a small and a large.
No, but they're not the same thing, and they don't do the same job.
okay. What do I do?
Just get in there. You'd be fine.
Yes, I think I'm going to. I think I'm gonna get in here, and I'm going to use the help action, basically to, like, distract it. However that will work. To try and sort of have it sort of look more over towards me. Actually, I might pull out my mirror. This could be interesting. I'm going to have the mirror. I'm going to sort of gesture for it to, like, I'm going to make a bunch of noise. It might turn around, and it's going to look into the mirror and look at itself.
So it's like a very small hand mirror that you've got. So you're, like, holding up this little, like, because it's like a full-length mirror that you're carrying around.
Well, it still will do the trick.
Yeah, as you run forward and begin holding up this mirror, being like, ha! Ha-ha! Making all these noises. The creature sort of, like, turns and considers it, but doesn't seem to be not much more than that. Do you want to make me a performance check to try and draw its attention?
Suck at charisma. Okay. Yeah, no.
3. Ah! Ha ha ha! As you hold out the mirror. Anything else in your turn, though? You do provide the help action to Theodore, and well, I'd say probably who are you trying to provide it to? To all 3, because you kind of only give it to 1. I'm guessing Theodore. Who's next up in the initiative order?
Yeah, probably Theodore then, because, like, he's right next to me.
In that case, then, Grinner, it is your turn.
Right. So from a metagame standpoint, everyone
Hello.
seems to be avoiding that orb.
Yes.
I was planning on not doing that pretty soon, so if that's-
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
so Grinner, from a not metagamey standpoint, no idea. He thinks orb equals bad ghosties. So I'm gonna run up here to right in next to the altar.
Yep.
My big rock that I used to break the altar, is that still sitting on the altar?
Just on the ground, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick that up. And I'm gonna hold it up over the top of the crystal.
Yep.
And I'm going to hold my action.
Yep.
For if the shadow creature does anything aggressive, and I'm going to look at it and say, "Oi, fucko! If you fucking do anything else, I'm gonna break this. You don't. I'm sure you like this. I'm gonna break it. Stop it." That's me.
Okay, could you make me a persuasion check, please, Grinner, with disadvantage?
I can.
On account of this creature not speaking common. So,
Damn. Oh.
do you know what, though? Sorry, do you know what? It could have been also intimidation. Is intimidation plus anything for you?
Yes.
What's intimidation plus?
+5.
In that case, then, I'll say that it could be with intimidation. So in that case, it's 3 plus 5 is a total of 8. Because your first roll was a 5, second roll was a 2, but that's with a -1. So in that case, then you rolled a 3 for persuasion. If we add a +5 to that, it equals 8. So let's say it was intimidation, because you would have rolled that if I'd had going quick enough, letting you know that that was an option. As you hold this rock over, you go like, "Oi! I'll fuck up your crystal, mate." It sort of turns again and looks at you and considers, and then looks up and down your body as if trying to select the next organ it wants. It's the Shadow's go. Now this is going to be interesting.
Can you take
Grinner? Grinner, could you please roll me a D100?
I don't want to be that guy, but Tithla did try and swing at it twice.
So did the bear.
Yep.
I also did the bear.
It's
Yeah.
I just want to know how it's going to respond to the threatening of the crystal. 22. Okay. The creature pauses, looks the crystal, looks at all of you, and then looks down, its hand pressed up against its stomach as it looks down at the intestines it's already claimed. And then you watch as it slowly melts away into dust, disappearing.
I'm gonna break the crystal anyway.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay, brilliant. As you
It's running
smash
off with
down...
Tithla's spaghetti bits. She needs those.
Okay. As you smack down with the crystal, as you smack down and crack the crystal, Tithla, you are racked by a sudden intense pain as the crystal is shattered. Grinner, you just smash this thing. The crystal breaks apart into dust. Tithla, could you please roll me a Constitution saving throw, please?
I was trying to help.
You were. 5.
Should have given Tithla the intestines back.
Do you want to use your inspiration, Tithla, to re-roll that 5?
Jacob doesn't.
Okay. No, that's fine. Don't worry. In that case, then.
I feel like Tithla's too scared to have any comprehension and think through anything.
Okay. Grinner, could you please roll me a D8?
Yeah.
Yes, I can. just a straight up.
D8. Just a D8.
Okay.
7. Tithla, you take 7 points of damage as your insides are cut and shredded by the destruction of the crystal. With your organ, with your intestines currently crystallized inside this creature, as the crystal itself is shattered, they shatter within you as well, dealing 7 points of force damage. As the crystal... That's bad IBS. As the crystal turns to dust, the altar cracks even further. Grinner, as you look down at your hands, you can see the rock that you just cracked and broke this crystal with begins bleeding this black, red Icarus blood across your hands.
I drop the rock.
Yeah, you drop the rock clatters to the ground. your hands still have this, mostly over the fingers as you drop it instantly, this sort of like red, sticky, black, almost slightly congealed blood, and the rock continues to slowly bleed from a large crack that's opened up inside of it. I'm taking everyone out of initiative now, just so that you know.
Okay.
What the fuck is going on?
What do we see?
That, you see that.
Oh, okay. That's actually
You see that
happening,
happen.
You lot, bleeding rock.
That's not good. That's not good at all. Tifla, aren't you like the medical whiz or something?
My tummy hurts.
Tifla, I'm really sorry, love. I thought I was helping. I don't think I was helping.
No, you're good. And she'll stumble over, grasping, her stomach, like you do when you're trying to hold it all in.
Your intestines.
She'll come over and she'll have a look. Is she still frightened?
As the creature disappears from view, the frightened condition ends.
Great. Lovely. Then I don't have disadvantage on this ability check.
No,
can I do a medicine check?
Of course you can.
Going on here?
You're doing a medicine check on the rock or on Grinner?
On Grinner's hands.
On Grinner's hands. Okay, cool.
Yeah, bleedy bits.
Yeah,
13. Grinner's not injured. His hands they're not cut or anything like that. But the rock that he used to crack this crystal seems to have cracked itself, and you can see that there is this dark black Icarus blood bleeding from it. Some of that has gotten on Grinner's hands.
She'll grab a cloth and sort of wipe up Grinner's hands and say, your hands are okay. These are all right. You're okay. That rock, though, is not a rock. It's bleeding. I think there's a saying about trying to bleed a rock dry, and it's not like this rock.
Right. Well, I don't like this place at fucking all. How's your insides?
No, I hope they're still my insides.
Not your outsides.
Yeah, but they hurt, but it's subsided a little.
Do you need a rest? You need to sit down and just take a moment to collect yourself?
No, I'd rather just go home.
Tifla, can I feel your stomach for a moment? Can I just have a little...
Sure.
Can I, just palpate the area?
As soon as you push with any degree of pressure, Tithla, it really hurts. Not enough to cause damage, but it's painful, that palpation.
You're not. I'm sorry. I understand you're not a medical genius like I am.
No, I'm not, love. But look, I've seen a lot of people get hit in the guts.
So I should just get over it.
But no, what I'm saying is, if it hurts when you poke it, the best idea is to just stop poking it until it stops hurting.
Yeah. With that logic, how do you know that it stops hurting if you're not poking it, though?
Well, there you go.
So it's not hurting anymore.
Ah, job done, love.
Oh, we can poke it again. And
No, that's not.
Yeah, no. Oh. Yeah,
That didn't work.
You can feel the pain radiating outwards from the area, Tithla, and as it sort of hits the back of your spine, your legs turn to jelly for a second. This is painful.
Oh yeah, you're not looking okay. I go to give her a help to sit down, a sort of hand on the shoulder, hand on the back. Like, oh, you okay? You can take a rest. It's fine.
Oh, yeah, we'll be okay. Why don't we just head home?
Well, yeah. Look, as good as a rest would be right about now, I think time might be of the essence here.
Oh, and how loud was that whole smashing of the crystal and this whole...
Oh, yeah. It echoed through the hallway. The corridors.
I would have... Once that was fine, Tithla wasn't immediately dead, I would have sprinted straight back to my guard point over here.
You can hear a low, ominous growl coming from the corridor to the south and the occasional yipping bark.
Stay here.
Doesn't seem to be getting any closer, though.
Having seen the little bit to the south through that room, can I go explore that a little bit further?
Yes, as you head down and look into the south, you can see there's a doorway blocking your pathway. The doorway is unlocked, and as you go up and open the doorway, you can see a room beyond. A table and chair stand in the very center of the room with a teapot and 2 mugs out as if tea was ready to be served. A corridor stretches towards a room beyond, and now, Grinner, from your position, you can hear an ominous growl coming from that room as well.
While everyone's doing that, I'm just going to quickly have a look at these corpses that are along the wall.
Yeah, absolutely. As you have a look over them, Luther, could you want to make me a Arcana, Medicine, or Nature check?
Tithla goes and picks up her bow and
Yeah.
resets her gear.
Okay. We'll do.
Oh, Jacob, as Tithla bends down and picks up the bow, it's just snapped in it. No. No.
So I'm also looking for.
outside bow is like my inside bow.
So I'm going to be looking for any signs of that party.
As you look over these remains, Luther, roll Nature, Arcana, Medicine, any of those three.
Anyway,
21 for Medicine. These remains, Luther, look to be years old, decades old. Apart from the two ghouls, the skeletonized remains of the rest of this room don't appear to be of any... Unless time works differently here, you don't think these are likely to be any of the adventuring parties. As you look over them, though, you can see some of them have, almost on some of the bones in some of the areas, this strange crystalline appearance. And with the crystal now shattered, those bones have broken as well, as if parts were taken from these prisoners, piece by piece.
Oh, that's nasty. Okay, cool. Okay, with that, I'll sort of check on Jonor and Tithla real quick. Are you guys all good? I'm going to go back up our friends. Stay put, relax for a little bit, and join us when you can.
I want to have a quick look at that orb and see if it's still magical at all. If it seems okay. I just walk over. I don't touch it. Seeing.
Oh, it's just dust. Jonor, same as the silver dust that poured out of the shadows when they had taken the organs and then the organs were destroyed. There's nothing left. This attack from Grinner, you don't think it's enough to explain it. Clearly this thing was held together with magic, but as the orb has been shattered, it has just turned to dust, leaving nothing behind. Just this silvery sort of like crystalline powder.
Interesting. And the go on, Tithla. When you're ready to go, we should go.
Yeah, okay. I think we can go. Yep.
I'm gonna pop up behind Grinner with my crossbow drawn.
Yep.
I guess continue as we were in this room.
Am I, just as a point of order, am I having any difficulty breathing?
No, not that you're aware of.
No more than usual. All right.
From the decades of
that's right. And what do we see? What's on the table? What is?
A teapot and two mugs. The teapot's made of a dark red porcelain. The mug's similar. The clay looks to have been fired, but no extra decorations. And then around the room are two chandeliers hanging from the ceiling, letting off this very low... actually, no, sorry, no candlelight, because the candles have long burned out. So no light coming from those, sorry.
Would I have heard them open that door?
Yeah, you hear them open the door. Yeah.
And I probably would have inched down a bit.
Yeah, as you move down and look around the corner, you can see Grinner and Luther stepping into the room from a doorway towards the south.
I rejoin them then.
Hello there. Is the teapot hot or cold?
Cold. As you reach out and touch it, very cold. And as you look inside, you can just see this dark stain inside. Probably what was once tea, but has long evaporated and turned into sludge.
Cool. I'm going to pick up one of the chairs.
Okay. Perfect. So you just pick up a chair.
And brandishing it with four legs forward, I'm going to make my way around the table and this direction.
As you do so, Grinner, as you get towards the top of the room, Theodore, you can probably see this as well. The room beyond this one towards the west looks to be some sort of bedroom. And standing on the bed, growling menacingly, is a large black dog with two heads. Black, dark fur rising from across its head, forming a mane of sorts down its back as it stares, one head staring at Grinner, one at Theodore, pawing at the bed, growling ominously this low. And then one head lets out this baying bark, this as you begin sort of like stepping into its line of sights.
Easy, doggy.
Can I try and push through and sort of make a big, like, elky bear growl at it, trying to intimidate it down?
Yeah, you can make me an intimidation check as you step up behind Grinner and just let out this roar.
I guess mental things are off.
Use your intimidation, yeah. I'm sure this will be great. 15. I will roll for this thing to see if it is intimidated. Yeah, it is. As you growl, it sort of pauses and then drops down, not fully submitting, but the heads stop growling, still occasionally flashing these teeth as it draws its muzzle back over them. But it pauses itself, recognizing that you might be a threat, and drops a little bit, hackles lowering a little bit as it stands on the bed staring down at you, and then lowers one of its heads, almost a little bit submissively.
Do we need to be fighting a big double doggy today? Yeah, I'm not feeling that either. You just stay here for a moment, eh? I'm gonna go to the table and the other chair, and I'm just gonna drag everything into the hallway where the room is and start piling it in the corridor to the bedroom.
Yeah, you just pile up the tables and chairs and partially block the passageway out. Yeah, sure. Yep, that's fine.
Well, I know that's not going to do a huge amount, but maybe, it won't want to follow us. If it's staying in its room already, we could just leave it. Maybe.
Is there anything in there that looks of importance at all, or?
I don't know. I wasn't looking, Jonor. Wait, was that Jonor who's talking? No, you're not Jonor. Sorry, I was looking at the dog. I wasn't paying attention. All I heard was American accent. I should be able to differentiate by now.
What's an American?
An Ocean accent. As you look into the room, Grinner, you can see at the foot of the bed. The bed again is somewhat soiled, having had a dog sort of pawing at it and growling. You can see at the foot of the bed on the floor looks to be a large chest, in fairly good condition. No padlock as far as you can see.
Well, do we punch a dog so we can get into a chest, or do we stop all this fucking yelling and screaming from down the other way?
Could there be things of our explorer parties in there? Kind of weird to be guarded by a dog.
Would you like me to go and try and pat the dog?
Well, look, yeah, we could go do that, but the way I see it is, why don't we just come back here? Like, we got people doing chanting, bringing back fuck knows what. Why don't we sort that out before we get too carried away here? I mean, that's my two bob.
Can I just put forward the idea of us just leaving again?
We can't really do that. The mist and such, we tried
the house itself. I forgot about that bit. Yes, it's been.
Yeah,
this has been a long couple of hours.
Difficult.
It's been a long 3 hours.
So there's only really a chest in there.
Yeah, as far as you can see, there could be more in the room, but from where you guys are standing, there's not much more that you can see. Actually, do you know what I've realized? Every minute of in-game time has so far correlated to a minute of real time for this campaign so far.
Wasn't that the
almost?
It's happening again. It's happening
Almost.
again.
but you've already had a level up, so I mean,
this is true.
The dog was still looking pretty reasonably intimidated by me, right?
it looks intimidated, but I mean, you're standing out there. It's in here. It's not growling and barking at you, but you can tell that it's still on alert. Its behavior screams, back off. Like, do not come closer. It's
2 heads.
Yeah, has 2 heads.
I engage in the nuzzling of furniture into the hallway with Grinner. Just block this thing up.
All right.
I'm sorry. What was it?
There's bear noises on.
Okay. They're bear noises. Well, actually, technically, as a Bayonling, you get to decide what it sounds like, because I haven't written anything about what its vocalizations are at this point. So that's entirely up to you. So that's now 100% canon, and I have to deal with that. If I ever use the Bayonling again, I have to be true to it, because you've just designated its sounds there.
At least for his rendition.
Yeah, that's this chatting Bjornling.
Yeah. So what would you guys like to do?
I think that we fuck off and
up.
deal with all the chanting.
Yep.
That's my 2 cents on it.
The only issue I have is that this house is magic, and once we sort of finish that chanting off and sort of stop whatever might be doing this magic, What happens to the house? Does it collapse in on itself? Like, do we even have a chance to sort of look through all this sort of stuff again? Like, I don't know.
Well, I don't know either, but I'd rather not find out what they're trying to create by chanting. I mean, they've been doing it for a fucking long time. Maybe we got some spare time up our sleeves.
You can still hear the echoing voices carrying down the corridor.
Has it
Do you
become
guys,
any more
like,
urgent, or
Seems to be the same as far as you can tell.
Does that dog look like it's undead?
I mean, it looks like a living, breathing creature. You can see that it has this dark fur, matted mane pulling back over it, but the two heads, it's definitely not a normal dog. You're not sure whether it's an undead creature. There's no signs of any obvious necromantic energy. There's no exposed bones or muscle tissue or zombie-like appearance. It looks like a living, breathing dog, as far as you can tell.
Okay, how about this? Tithla, maybe Theodore, you both have lived in the forest all your life. Take some of my ration. Maybe you guys can coerce it to come out, and maybe we could make it a bit more friendly.
Jonor, do you want to make me an Arcana check? As you've stepped into the room, you can now see this thing. Would you like to make me an Arcana check? You've studied good and evil quite a bit. 12. As you stare at this thing, this is definitely a magical creature. Definitely something that's been created. You get the sense this is probably a monstrosity of some sort. Maybe once upon a time this was a dog, but magic has warped and changed this thing into something else. It almost resembles a creature you've read about called a death dog. A creature that stalks the plains in Bolmir, the mountain dwarf kingdom. There are sections in between the mountain valleys with large plains, and you know that the death dogs are a plague there. Their bite is filled with microorganisms that cause this terrible, debilitating disease if you happen to be bitten by one. This looks a little bit similar to that, but you know that this isn't a death dog. This is something that's been created, something maybe similar in nature, but not the same.
I have to put it out. It's misery.
I don't remember Owen, but
Hello.
Does Grinner remember anything about
The
there
wolf
being
tree?
a family dog?
Ah, Grinner would remember a family dog. Way back, right back at the very, very beginning of the manor as you walked in the hunting lodge room. All of those dogs, the wolfhounds that were stuffed and preserved. Grinner, as you look at this looks very similar to one of those wolfhounds, very wolf-like in appearance, but just with the two heads. But yeah, as you look at it, you realize this looks very similar to those wolfhounds.
Can I pull the bunch of wolf eyes that I took off them out of my bag?
Yeah, you can pull out some marbles that are painted to look like wolf eyes. Yeah, of course you can. Yep.
I'm just gonna gently, non-threateningly roll them all into the room.
Okay, yeah. Take them out of your inventory. As you roll these marbles, these glass eyes across the floor, the dog heads immediately snap on and watch the motion. Then one head stands up to look at you and stares at you guys at the door as it gets to sort of across the middle of the room, and the other head follows the marbles. The head that's following the marbles sort of whines a little bit, and the paw kind of goes to reach off the bed, and then the other head growls and snaps, and the other head pulls back in. The left head wanting to sort of go chase the marbles, the right head growling and snapping, and pulls it back, and then both heads turn and look towards you again, Grinner.
Well, I'm fuck out of ideas.
Well, look,
That was his careful plan, his cunning plan.
That was good though. I like that.
I reckon we definitely should not get a bite from one of these things. They probably have got diseases. I've heard of these death dogs, I think they're called, coming and doing pretty bad things. Maybe as bad as what's happened to Tithla's gut. If we do want to,
What? There's long-lasting effects of this. Why would you wait till now? Why didn't you say something earlier? Why haven't you done anything to fix this? What is going on? Why haven't you said anything? What?
oh, well, you'll be okay. You'll be fine. Pats on the shoulder.
Yeah,
I reckon we'll be okay. We'll get to hospital. You know, with the great hospital just nearby.
I have to go to hospital now? That was the scared ass hospital or something. It was not a good name. You get what you pay for in healthcare, and there was no payments there.
Tithla, look, love, just don't poke it and it stops hurting, right? So, job done. It's fixed.
Well, that
Don't
was what I
poke it,
thought.
and it's fixed.
Okay,
Alright.
okay.
Now,
Okay.
look,
It should just start rocking.
I'm just going to say this again. I think we should leave Sleeping Dogs lie on this one. It's sitting there, it's not coming for us. There's probably a reason for that. I mean,
Right,
look,
we should put it to sleep.
we can probably handle it. If we want to all run in there and kill the fucker, I don't give a shit. But
Well, you know what we could do? We could, we've created a bit of a barricade. We could just hide behind this wall pretty much and just shoot arrows and stuff at it.
yeah, all right, done. I'll stand right at the front, and if anything comes close to the barricade, I will push it off and stop it getting through. You lot just shoot the shit out of it. Ready, steady, go.
Okay.
Taking the lead from, he usually tells what to do, so Jonah's probably going to listen to that and lines himself up.
Well, look, I feel like from what Jonor told us, we're sort of putting it's out of its misery.
So I'm going to stand right where the barricade is and keep it blocked. And anytime the dog tries to get through or anything like that, I'm going to try and repel it off the barricade. Is my, I guess, held action.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. I'll chuck you guys in initiative.
I guess we're gonna start shooting at it first before.
Well, let's have everybody roll initiative. Let's click on your tokens. Roll some initiative for me.
Do we get a surprise round?
Nope. This thing can see
What do
you.
you mean?
It can see you. It watches as Grinner steps up, stands in the way. You guys get behind, load your crossbows, get your fire ready, throw it.
Roll some marbles.
Right, it's hardly a surprise. This thing knows you're here. Alrighty, has everyone rolled initiative? 15 for Luther, 6 for Tithla, 18 for Grinner, 9 for Jonor, and for Theodore, 20. Theodore, you're up first. Are you participating in this or just chilling at the back?
Well, I mean, I don't have any range attacks. Can I try and flick a chair over at the dog with my antlers?
I mean, you can give it a go, but remember there's Jonor, Luther, and Grinner in the way that chair's got to get past in a narrow corridor. So let me know if you want to do it.
You could provide the help action to Grinner.
Maybe. Yeah, I'd say that. You could, if you move up to sort of that space there, you can provide the help action to Grinner. Yeah.
Sure.
Cool.
I'll provide it.
Help provided. Grinner, you're doing a held action, so we'll skip over you as well. Luther.
Okay, I'm gonna take a shot at the death dog.
Roll me an attack.
16 to hit.
16. The arrow flies through and strikes into the side of this creature. It lets out this baying whimper as it pulls back and away. One of the heads snarling and biting at this arrow, clamping down, the other head whimpering and trying to pull away from this pain. As they sort of pull apart in the middle and try and tear away from the center, they get pulled back in together, sharing the same body. The more aggressive head growling and snapping at the other head. And again, that growl filling the room as it stares towards Grinner and Luther and Theodore, the people it can actually see in the hallway. Anything else on your turn, Luther?
I'll do a free interaction.
Yep.
I'll just go, look all, this is pretty grim, but this thing has unfortunately been twisted and we need to put it out of its misery. So, it's a grim task, but it needs to be done. And then I go down. Move out of the way so someone else can take that spot.
And that was
Are we
12
on record?
piercing damage.
That I fucking hate killing dogs. It's one of my least favorite animals to have to kill. Just so everybody is aware of this. All right.
I mean, you're the one who came up with the dog killing plan, so that's an interesting twist. The dog paws at the bed, one head trying to pull towards Grinner, the other head pulling back and keeping it on the bed, and it uses its movement to stay on the bed, growling at you. Jonor, it is your turn next.
It maintains plan. Or he maintains plan, sorry. Goes up behind him, and launches a fireball.
Roll me an attack.
Yeah, just
18
Fire,
hits, 10 fire damage. We'll take the first one, so 18 and 10 fire damage. As you blast away, this bolt of fire strikes into the hind of this creature, causing the front to begin smoldering and burning. The dog lets out this terrified, baying howl as it paws away, trying to roll against the bed, trying to put its fur out. Anything else, Jonor?
He feels a bit conflicted and then steps away.
Tithla.
Oh.
Tithla, your turn.
They didn't actually attack us.
Yeah.
That's really weird.
What? It's not. Okay, and we need to stop. Stop. And she's going to push past and run up towards the dog and try and pat it and try and do some, whether it's animal handling or something to try and calm it.
Yep.
She probably, you know what? She would do an animal handling, try and take it from that approach as if it was a dog.
Yes. Now you are going to get disadvantage on this on account of it being shot and set on fire.
You do have inspiration.
That's fair, but
as Tithla pushes past Grinner and runs towards it, you can see that the dog is
can I
snapping.
use my inspiration to make it a flat roll?
Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Hoping for a big one. Better not be a natural one. 12. As the creature
Almost
rolls
worse.
around on the bed trying to put out the fire that is on its body, the heads are snapping around. One of the heads biting at empty air, the other one whimpering and pulling away. Tithla, you get the sense this thing's a bit crazed at the moment. As you reach out and try and pat it, one of the heads snaps and you pull your fingers back in time, but this creature's in pain, a lot of pain. The arrow, part of the arrow is still sticking out from its stomach, and you can see that the smouldering furs actually burnt one of the eyes on the more aggressive head. It looks like it's in a lot of pain. Tithla, now that you're in the room and you can see a bit closer, you can see that its back legs are actually chained to the bed head.
Stop! It's hurt. It needs help. It can't. We need to help it.
Tithla, I'd say that's a bonus action. You've still got your action if you wanted to take it.
Okay. Can I pull out my healer's kit and just try and use that to try and patch up at all? I know it's healer's kits are related to when you're on 0, but to
absolutely. Yes, you can. Absolutely. So you can expend a use of the healer's kit and you can try and sort of look after these wounds. Could you roll me, please, another animal handling check? Just because as you try and assist it, you probably have like some burn cream or some salve that you've created that is cooling and helps prevent damage from burns. As you sort of push this on and start talking very softly to it, I will actually need to re-roll your animal handling check.
Here, pup. It's okay. We're all friends.
Natural 20.
That is what we call a natural 20.
Natural 20 for a total of 22. Yeah, Tithla, you're very good with animals. You know you're very good with animals. Probably your next best trait after your medical geniusness. I'm speaking as your subconscious, obviously, not as an objective voice.
Of course. Well, beasts are my favorite enemy, so this all checks out.
Yeah. This creature's just a dog, a scared, frightened dog. And as you sort of like move around the snapping head, you use your open palm to push against the side of the mouth to keep those jaws away from you as you get round behind it, out of the range of that biting head, and you begin pulling out this burn cream and lathering it on, keeping one hand always on the cheek to hold this head away from you. And as you begin taking care of this creature and looking after it, the rabid sort of like attacking this biting that was going on around it, this like chomping of jaws seems to quieten a little bit. And then you hear this sort of low whimper, this as the dog sort of drops down and you begin applying this burn cream to it. I'm going to take us out of initiative for the moment. Tithla, you can see part of the bolt still sticking out of this as you remove it. The dog whimpers a little bit, and as you pull the arrow out, quickly slap on a bit of gauze, begin staunching the bleeding. Yeah, you can see this thing looks pretty hurt. And it looks very hungry as well. The ribs are showing from in between its chest.
Do we have some rations that I can give it?
Yeah, you'd have rations that you can pull out. You've probably got some cured meats and jerkies and things like that. Yeah, both heads ravenously tear into any food that you offer it. The head's kind of fighting.
Head.
I'll probably I'll give some rations as well, because I feel pretty bad.
Yeah, the dog.
I sort of throw it into Tithla. Keeping me and Jonor back for now because we do damage to it.
Yeah. The dog hungrily devours the rations.
I will say one thing: my rations are probably more suited to the dog than anyone's because they're all meat.
Yep.
There's
Cooked,
not really any
smoked.
crisps, smoked meats, all this different stuff, like even blood puddings and stuff. Like if you can keep that, I don't know how long that keeps, but basically there's no like crackers and stuff, no bread,
No trail mix.
no trail mix. So that might be a potential.
1 month.
It's interesting.
Black puddings can last for a month, so yeah, you're fine. Just just quickly
disgusting.
Googled that. Yep,
Obviously,
thank you.
Obviously, Owen, you would know why the
Yeah, I know.
rations might be a little bit different.
Yeah, I know. Chuck these to Tithla. The dogs begin, the heads begin tearing into the food, rapidly tearing at them. Grinner, it doesn't seem to like you very much, given that you're the one it could smell and see while it was taking damage. As it sees you, the head that was a bit more aggressive growls ominously. Tithla kind of pushing and being like, "It's all right, it's all right," distracting it with more food. You get the sense that this creature's not going to let you close to it.
I'm going to go for a rummage in my bag and pull out some rations, and I want to try to gently, I'm going to hold it out away from it, but within its reach, and it can grab it if it wants to grab it off me.
Yeah. With Tithla's natural 20, the dog is suspicious of you, but comforted by Tithla's presence. One of the heads, the more gentle head, will take very tentatively, like reaching out and then snarling a little bit, and then reaching out and then whip it away, pull it back and devour whatever you offer.
Tithla's talking to it in full sentences. It's like, that's okay. This is Grinner. Grinner's our friend. Grinner's going to be nice and helpful. And Grinner's sorry for what happened before. And even though that wasn't entirely Grinner, but don't worry about them. And just full sentences talking to this.
Yeah,
I
was gonna say, I'm keeping just me and Jonor, like, Jonor, let's just stay here for now. Let's not go in, okay? Just let them do their thing.
Seeing this thing trained up. Can I opt for a sanity check? I think Grinner's actually kind of fucking cut up about this.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course you can roll a sanity check. Absolutely. So yeah, roll me a sanity check. I'll set a DC that's appropriate. I think it's going to be a little bit higher than your average. 12. I actually set it as a 13. I get the sense that Grinner's not a big fan of herding dogs having been loyal companions at various points in his life. Grinner, yeah, it's only just a fail. In this case, it's not a fear that you take. It's a sense of disappointment and sadness. For the moment, you feel a deep sense of shame within yourself.
Walk out of the room.
Yeah. Grinner just pushes past Tithla, walks back towards Luther and Jonor. Tithla and Theodore.
We look pretty grim as well, I imagine.
Yeah, I would have run into the room as soon as I saw Tithla go in there. As soon as I was able, I would have scooted in, and I'm sort of. I mean, she's working with the dog and seems safe, but I'm there close enough that I can bear stomp this thing should it turn on Tithla anymore.
The dog seems very wary of you, Theodore, being a giant bear, quite a bit bigger than it being a very normal-sized wolfhound, you being the size of an average bear. As you push into the room, it sort of cowers a little bit behind Tithla, but seeing you not afraid, and with Tithla's natural 20, it slowly begins to warm up. And it is curious, it sort of comes to sniff at you. One of the heads sniffs at you, the other one growling a little bit, but it's wary, but not aggressive towards you. As it relaxes and calms down and gets a bit of food, you can see that one of the heads begins to move back and gnaw on the chains again, trying to tear at these chains. You can see that now that it's calmed down, you can see sections of its mouth are actually bloody from where it has worn its teeth down, trying to chew through these metal links.
It's okay, pup. We're gonna get Grinner, our friend, back, and Grinner's gonna break these. Okay, so don't be scared. He might have a big swing, but it's okay. You know? Hey, Grinner, would you be able to come and help get our new friend out of these chains?
Yeah, look, I don't want to be in there, love. You sort it out. You got this.
Do they have locks on them?
No, the chains are looped around and joined together, so the manacles that are clamped around its hind legs. The clamp itself looks to have been forged and locked in place with a bolt. You're probably going to have to break these or break the bed to get this off.
Yeah,
you're probably going to break the chains.
Theodore, would you be able to scooch around and just smashes the bed?
As Theodore smashes down with absolutely no warning, the dog immediately pulls back away, baying a little bit. Tithla's still able to calm it and holding it back. Theodore, you just wreck the top of this bed, the wooden bedpost being knocked down, underneath the metal in place as well, crashing down. Could you please roll me a claw attack? I want to see how much damage you do, just so I get an idea of how much you destroy this thing.
15.
50. That's a lot. That's a lot of damage. As you strike down and crack open the metal, the chain is pulled free. still attached to the dog's legs, this long loop of chain, but now no longer attaching it to the bed. As soon as this happens, it throws itself off the bed and pulls against Tithla, trying to push its way out of this room.
Hey, Papa, it's okay. Where are we going? And she'll sort of like move and try and go with it.
Yeah, it pulls past, moving back into the room, runs over towards where Grinner is, and just pushes Grinner out of the way as it pushes past.
I just move. It's got free rein.
The dog continues to move down the corridor, heading around back towards the north. Tithla sort of being pulled along behind it. I'm going to pause for a second. What are the rest of you guys doing as Tithla is kind of pulled behind this dog as it takes off?
I would have chased immediately after Tithla as it was going.
Luther, Jonor, Grinner?
Chasing.
Yep, Jonor's chasing Luther, Grinner.
The chest.
I'm probably just going to... I'll probably take up the rear behind Luther, depending on what Luther does. Just not... My heart's not in it right at the moment.
I give him... Actually, I sort of see Grinner's a bit, like, cut up, and I just sort of give him a pat on the shoulder, and I sort of like, well, I don't think we can really help them much. Let's quickly check this out so we don't be too far behind them.
Oh, this whole fucking thing was so you could look at that chest, so go and have at it. I've stayed here.
All right.
Luther, as you go over and open up the chest, inside you can see that there looks to be a number of items. A small wooden box containing what looks to be a few potions of red liquid, 4 potions of red liquid. You can see there is another flask, this time flanked in metal, of this very bright orange liquid. A lantern with these strange holes and openings. A set of what looks to be thieves' tools and a spellbook with a yellow cover. I'll paste these into the chat, shall I?
Yes, please. I'm just gonna I'm not even gonna really look at them too much. I'm just gonna start shoving them in my backpack.
When I paste these, it's going to reveal what these are, but I'm happy to do that.
That's fine.
4 potions of healing and a flask of atmosphere.
Luther, the others are fucking off, mate. How much longer are you gonna be?
Is there anything else in the room?
Yeah, as you pull those open, you can see on the far wall down towards the south east there is a cupboard partly open.
I'm not moving with caution. I'm just basically I've just scooped these in.
Yeah.
And then I'm going here, I'm just opening the door and having a look and seeing what's in the cupboard.
Yeah, inside the cupboard hanging up looks to be a number of clothes that have aged and rotted and slowly fallen apart, except for a very dark blue cloak that is still hanging. It looks to be in pristine condition.
Okay. I take the cloak.
I'll add that as well.
Cool. Is there any... Okay. So that's basically
That's all
everything
you
of note in here?
Yeah. While you're doing that, the dog, Tithla, Theodore, and Jonor, the dog leads you all the way back through the passageway that you came from and towards the stairs towards the south, pulling towards the staircase leading downwards, this stairway towards the chanting. As you get down the first set of stairs, the dog sort of turns for a second listening and then lets out this baying bark and goes to head down the next set of stairs into the lower basement. My question is, are all of you following?
I would like to try and growl at it to try and make it shit its pants and stop again.
Okay, could you roll me an intimidation check, please, Theodore?
Can do. Oh, fuck me.
10. With Tithla's previous animal handling, it pauses for a second, looks back at you, looks down at the chanting, looks back at you, and then begins slinking away slowly. Like it knows it's doing the wrong thing, but it's not going to stop.
Can I try and push my paw down onto the chains dragging behind it to stop it from moving?
Yes, yeah. As you slam down a paw and the chains draw to a halt, the dog sort of shudders, looks back at you stepping on the chain, sees you curl up a lip in a growl.
Give it a look.
Pauses.
The naughty finger.
Pauses and stays still for the moment. Grinner, Luther, that's probably at the point where Luther's just finished raiding everything from the cupboard and steps back into the other room.
Yep.
Right, let's chase him down. I'll follow you. You probably got better hearing than I do.
Perfect.
You literally run up the corridor and they're right there. So as you come around the corner, you run around and they're all sort of standing there. Theodore with his big bear paw holding this chain in place. Tithla at the front with this dog. Jonor sort of looking around trying to see what the holdup is.
All right. Well, you guys... the dog was running down here, like going towards the chanting.
Yeah, what have we stopped for, lads? And Tithla, sorry, love.
That's okay. I assume lads is a collective word for the whole group, and it's not meant in a gendered form, so I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Is the chanting distinguishable in the language?
Oh yeah, you can hear that it is a language that none of you speak.
Okay, it's not Sylvan?
Not Sylvan, sorry.
Elvish? Druidic?
Not Elvish.
Not common.
Not common.
I'd like to try and grab the chain with my mouth and try and pull the dog backwards away from it. I don't want it running down into the ceremony.
And can
yeah.
I,
Yep.
at the same time, just try and squeeze through towards the front again, just as the meat shield?
Yeah, I mean, it's just you just push through everyone, get to the front. Theodore, as you pull back on the dog, it lets out this sort of bit of a whimper as it's being dragged backwards. But with your Beornling strength, you outstrength this creature. So I'm going to not even have you roll. Like, your strength is higher than 14, so you can pull this thing back out of the way. As you pull it back behind you, sorry, I'll move it there, move you there. As you pull it back behind towards where Jonor or Tithla are, it sort of goes to sort of growl at you, and then thinking better of it, just stops and sort of lowers its heads in submission.
And the whole time, Tithla's, hey, pup, we're okay. We're all friends here, remember? Theodore's trying to help you.
Yeah, and the chains sort of like tinkle against the ground as it's pulled backwards. You can see, yeah, the area around where these two manacles are locked onto its hind legs, the skin is worn away. It's raw and slightly bleeding, a bit pussy. Poor doggy.
Hey, friends, if you are chill with us, then we'll be able to get this off soon. And by friends, she's talking only to the dog.
I figured, yeah.
But if we're good and we can all be friends here for a bit, we'll be able to get this completely off you, not just have you loose a bit. So if you just hang out in a little bit, we should be able to help, okay? Deal?
I mean, the dog doesn't respond, but yeah,
Deal.
Sure.
Alright, do we have a plan there, you lot? Or should I just run down these stairs and go ooga booga at whoever's down there?
No, I didn't think past the first pats, so... Yep, that was a bit ago.
Anybody else?
I reckon we proceed with caution. and
I
just
can't
take
talk
past
right
this little-
Listening to the chanting, have I heard anything like that before in the religious background?
I mean, yeah, Jonor, it sounds like it sounds like an incantation, a combination of reciting of a religious text maybe, or someone casting a spell. The words flow to a beat and a pattern, a rhythm that rises and falls. And you've heard it now long enough to know that it is repeating itself. You are hearing the same sort of phrases and movements as previous. What this is, though, you don't know the language. You just don't know.
Is it like perfectly repeating? The same phrase. It's just something on record, just going around.
Not just the same phrase. It sounds like a whole length of something. Roughly, a repetition cycle is about 2 to 3 minutes. So it's repeating, but it's a long length of text, whatever it is that's being repeated.
Guys, I have a feeling that this isn't actually people singing. It sounds like some sort of enchantment or something going on. It's saying these words, this chant.
Well, let's keep that in mind and go find out. I'm gonna just try to, probably for the first time in his life, cautiously make his way down the stairs.
Would you like to roll me a stealth check, Grinner?
Still tapping the crowbar?
I don't even have that anymore.
No, Luther took it back.
I have that now, yeah.
Took my weapon. Oh, yeah, good one.
3! Grinner, as you step on the first step, your foot slips out from underneath you and you sort of like tumble down the stairs a little bit. Not falling, but like stumbling a bit as you catch yourself. The stairs being coated with a layer of almost like a slime.
Oh,
Only
fuck
you had the
that.
crowbar.
Yeah, lucky you didn't have the crowbar. I'm going to assume the rest of you are following, so I'll move you down the stairs as you guys head down.
Yeah, I guess I'll move slowly down with the dog chain dog moving slightly in front of me, like I'm walking
Yeah.
the dog.
You're walking the dog
One arm around the dog.
with the chain in your mouth. Grinner, as you come down the narrow stairway, the stone walls closing in on either side of you, the roof shrinking as well, getting closer and closer to you. The room beyond opens up, and you can see that it is this large open area, roughly about 15 feet by 25 feet opens up before you. You can see that there are a dozen alcoves positioned at various points around the room, containing what look to be objects of certain types sitting in these alcoves. The chanting is echoing through this room. It is definitely coming from that opening towards the southeast. From your position, you can also see there is another... I'll just move you there so you can see it. There's also another passageway heading off towards the southwest as well from the same room.
Nice. I'm going to make my way towards the chanty room.
Yeah, as you step into the room, Grinner, yeah, you can see all of these items stored in these niches, these little reliquaries around the walls. The first sort of couple that you walk past, you can see a severed raven's claw and a vial of dark red liquid.
Does any of them around the room look like they could be used as a weapon?
Let me have a quick look. Not really. Do you want me to read out everything that's in the room?
Yeah, go on, I'll find a weapon.
You can see, just let my dog know that's enough. All right, Liams. You can see a vial of dark red liquid resembling coagulated blood, a severed raven's claw, a lock of hair woven into a figure eight, a sharp canine tooth wrapped in silver wire, a woven wicker circle, a piece of bark covered in thorns, a severed finger with dark grey blue skin, a dried bouquet of some herb or plant, and a severed pointy ear.
Go with the finger, mate.
Well,
Raven's Claw.
I can poke things with my own finger. I don't need an extra one.
Yeah, but it's a pointy finger.
I'm going to grab the dog's tooth wrapped in silver.
Yeah, so you can add to your inventory a canine tooth wrapped in silver wire.
All right.
Guys, I don't know this language, but if you give me a moment, I can probably spend a bit of time to figure it out. I can understand any language. I spend long enough just hearing the phonetics. I can sort of figure it out. If we
Do you think we have time right now? I mean, we could. That sounded really fucking sarcastic. It wasn't. Do you think we have time right now?
Grinner, I want to say that second proposition of that question, much better than the first. Well done.
Thanks, mate. I'm working on that. Oh, sorry, sweetheart, love, fuck.
Yeah, sweetheart is much better than mate. I think that's the commonly accepted. When you're talking to females, is sweetheart. That's the way to go. Yeah.
That's all right. Done.
I think I'd like to try and figure out a way to get out of here and understanding the things that happen in here, such as the chants and the magic that is occurring. I think it's our best shot of trying to comprehend this place.
Yeah, I like the idea of sorting out that chanting as soon as possible too, to be honest. So that's my bet.
Give me like 10 minutes and I can work out these phonetics and comprehend whatever language this is.
All right, I'm just going to poke around at all the other items while he's doing that.
Yeah, while that's happening, Luther, Theodore, Tithla, what are you guys going to be doing?
I'm
Holding the dog?
To keep the dog under control.
So the dog immediately tries to move towards the passageway, not where the chanting is coming from, another passageway towards another area.
All right, seeing that he's not going towards the chanting, I let him go.
As soon as you let him go, the chains dragging behind the dog takes off down the corridor, disappearing out of sight.
Well, fuck, don't just let him
out of sight. Tithla's going.
I would have followed too.
Tithla and Theodore and Grinner, as you guys run down the corridor, you can see this room beyond was clearly some sort of prison. Cells 5 foot by 5 foot have been carved into the stone with manacles and shackles positioned along all of the walls. At the very, very far end down the long corridor, you can see the dog is pawing at a corpse hanging from the wall, shackled up to the wall, of what looks to be a man. the dog whimpering and nuzzling it as if trying to wake him. The man is gaunt and partially mummified, his features sallow and sunken, skin rotted into this mottled black colour.
Chances of a cure wounds fixing that up.
I'm going to give that a negatory. Yeah, as the dog sort of tries to nuzzle at this corpse. The corpse just sort of sways with the nuzzle, the dog letting out these little low whimpers as it tries to nuzzle at the man.
I give him a little I give the dog a little sympathetic nuzzle.
Yeah, it sort of looks back in surprise a bit and then goes back to trying to nuzzle at this corpse.
Right, cut him down, Tithla. Cut the old fucker down.
So she pulls out a dagger and
Oh, he's not roped, he's manacled to the wall.
To cut his hands off.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's not going to use them anymore.
Okay, I can. And she still can't reach, so she like, should I climb him to try and?
Look,
up?
all right. I'm gonna kind of
And
make my
we'll
way
start to
past
pull up.
and just try and yank the chains off the wall.
Yeah, give me a strength check.
Ooh.
23. The masonry here is cracked and aged, and you just pull it free, the pegs free that were holding this chain in place, these iron pegs. As the body sort of drops to the floor gently, I'm not assuming you just drop it, I'm assuming you pull it gently. The dog sort of moves and nuzzles right up against the chest, sort of nudging the face, licking at it, trying to get it to move, and then curls up right alongside this dead body. Its head resting on the chest. Heads resting on the chest, I should say.
Pup, but there's nothing here. There's not. They're gone. We gotta go. There's nothing left here for you.
You can see the head sort of look up at you, and then rest back down on the body.
I know. You have a minute, and then we'll have to go.
And Tith will like step back and just let it have a minute or two.
Yeah.
Theodore gives the dog his space.
Can I have a look around and see if there's anything that would give any indication as to? I mean, more than likely this is the dog's master, but is there anything that I can find?
Do you want to give me a perception or investigation check, please, Grinner?
I really do. Let's
Okay.
do that.
Which one would you like to do?
I'm going to perceive.
Tell me, baby. Perception. Yeah, give me a perception check.
I perceive so well.
8. Yeah, Grinner, I mean, as you look over, there's no signs, like, he doesn't have, like, a leash or anything on him. He's not carrying any dog toys or dog food, but, he could be the dog's owner. And you have a bit of a look around the prison. You get the sense that there must have been, sort of looking around, there must have been a way that they transported the prisoners to and from this room. You just can't shake the sense that there must be something else here, because all these cells are empty. There's just nothing here except that one corpse.
Tithla, can you come have a look around, love? I'm missing something here. I think my eye's not quite working properly yet.
Yeah. She'll come over and...
Do you want to make me a perception or investigation check, Tithla?
We would like to do a perception check, please.
Then you may. 17.
There we go, 17.
Tithla, as you have a bit of a look around, you sort of check the walls, you can see there's drag marks, scratch marks across the floor on this wall towards the east of where you are, in the very center of the prison cells. And as you approach and have a bit of a look, you can tell that this wall here is actually a sliding door that you could probably open from this side.
And she'll just give it that little nudge with her shoulder to open it up the right way.
The door very slowly opens a little fraction as you give it a tiny nudge.
Grinner, did you notice this bit?
Hey, no, what's that?
This just a door here. Sorry.
Well, go on.
And then she'll go to start explaining all the clues and the drag marks that she was looking at to see this bit.
Look, Tithla, that's great. Love, I'm so glad that you spotted all of that. That's very interesting. But can we just get on with it, love?
Okay, we'll do the learning exercise another time.
And she'll just push the door open.
Brilliant. As you push the door open, I think that's probably about the 10 minutes it takes for Jonor's thing to go off. We'll jump back to Jonor and Luther.
I was going to say that thematically, Jonor would be like trying to match all the sounds he's hearing. He's getting phonetics, and so with his book, he's using his light. He has light in his hand and sort of like trying to draw the phonetics he sees. And as he learns more of it, he starts to scribe down what he gets, and so he eventually gets somewhat of like a basic language or something in his book. Is what I'm imagining he would do.
Yeah, Jonor, as you focus and cast the spell, comprehend languages. Am I guessing?
Yeah.
Yep. As you focus and cast the spell, you begin to make out some of the words here, and before too long, you think you have the full ritual written down. It is a repeating sequence of phrases. Open gateway, passage between worlds, life, death, the circle untold, move between, reverse behind, life, death, defeat, conquer. A sort of a repeating variation on that theme. While that's going on, Luther, as you have a bit of a look around, you can see the passageway towards the south goes down this narrow corridor and down a rampway that ends in a portcullis, blocking the pathway ahead and filled with murky water. Beyond, you can just make out what looks to be a room, a massive room filled with water with a large dais in the center.
From where I'm standing, Owen, I can see something really interesting in my vision.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can see hovering. That'd probably only be visible once you walk partway down the ramp to about there. You can see hovering in the center of the room, a hand sort of moving around very gently, the ghostly apparition of a woman, a figure, pale white skin, pale white hair, long flowing white dress, looking over this ritual dais and a large section of altar on the dais. As Tithla and Grinner open the door, you see this too, this woman, and I will tell you everything about this figure. You can see the chanting is clearly coming from this room. It echoes around this room as you peer into this 40-foot square room. The walls echoing and providing this very strange echoing acoustic feature. Stone pillars devoid of any carvings or details support the ceiling, and a breach in the west wall a breach in the south wall leads to a dark cave heaped with a partly collapsed tunnel. Murky water covers most of the floor, but you can see stairs lead up to dry stone ledges that hug the walls, and this stone ledge is actually where you have emerged from. In the middle of the room, more stairs rise to form an octagonal dais rising high above the water. Rusty chains with shackles dangle from the ceiling directly above a stone altar that's mounted on this dais. And the altar is stained with dark, dry blood. Hovering a few feet above the dais floats the translucent white figure of a woman. Around her, standing on the ledges as you emerge through on either side of you, are 13 dark cloaked figures, each one holding their hand out with a blue flame in the center of their hands, with this dark central fire burning within. The cloaks cover their every feature, the hoods casting their faces into a black void. As you step into the room, let's not say step in, as you open the door and begin sort of looking around into the room, the figure pauses, this ghostly apparition of a woman pauses in the center and slowly spins around and looks towards you. Ah, you have come. Please, step into the light so that I may see your faces clearer. Come. She holds out a hand and gestures towards her.
Is that gesturing to like
Tithla and Grinner?
Yeah. So seeing that she's facing that direction, I'm gonna run as fast as I can back out of these guys.
Yep. You just book it, Theodore, as you run down the corridor. Tithla, Grinner, what do you two do?
Well, I can't do much from where I am, so I'm going to step into the room.
As you step into the light, this ghostly apparition of woman, the long flowing white hair, almost moving as if underwater, billowing around her. Her eyes sort of turn towards you, open wide. She smiles. Yes, excellent. Good, good, good. Come in.
Pup, you stay here, all right? We'll be back.
And Tithla steps forward.
Okay, I'm gonna be like, I'm so sorry to break this up real quick, but like, I'm gonna be like gesturing to Jonor, like, Jonor, grab that book as quick as you can. We need to go. We need to back them up now.
All right.
So you guys keep going. That's just like we're doing. Yeah, I do want to do something in this room quickly before I go, but continue. Sorry.
Excuse me, Mrs. Nice Lady.
Elizabeth. You may call me Elizabeth Durst.
Elizabeth, I've heard about you.
Yeah, we met your kids, love. You treated them real well.
My children, Rose and Thorn. I have not seen their faces for a very long time. How are they? She looks
Better
towards
now.
you.
No thanks to you, you silly bitch.
Grinner, we've only just met.
No,
This
she
is
left her
weird.
fucking kids upstairs in that room. Oi,
And we
you stupid floaty cunt.
We've already had some bad experiences with the floating kind, and I didn't want to be preemptive and say things. I feel this feels dirty for me saying this, but I almost wanted to think before saying things.
Tithla, I appreciate that, love, but she left that little fucking boy up there in that room to starve to death with his sister. All right, just stay behind me.
You make a good point. I'm on your side.
Elizabeth, you stupid cow.
Yeah, you cow.
What the fuck you doing?
What are you doing?
She floats over towards you, Grinner. And as she gets
want
right
to
up in
punch
line
her.
with you. Okay. As she gets right up in line with you, she looks you dead in the eyes. I wish I could have freed my children.
No,
But that
you
would have
fucking-
required freeing myself first. I have been trapped here for a very long time.
I want to punch her. I want to punch her in the head.
Okay. You punch
In the
her?
ghost head. You punch
Okay.
in the ghost head.
Yeah, sure. Make me an unarmed attack.
You still have that chair?
I don't. It's piled up.
Yep.
No, but you've got the bit of silver on the tooth.
Oh, I do. But it's in my bag.
Oh no, initiative's up.
Well, yeah, because he's punching her in the face. I don't know what to tell you.
You
And not
tell us
very
that that
well
was
either.
free and no problems and no consequences.
No, that's not how this works. 10 is nowhere near enough. As you go to punch her, your hand just passes through her as you punch her in the face, and she sort of like moves back a little bit. I wondered if maybe you could help me, but perhaps I was mistaken.
You're a fucking bitch. I would like to rage.
Before you do, though, I am going to get everyone to roll me initiative. So that's rage is not a free action. As you
Okay.
punch her, that is a surprise action. She was not expecting that. But I'm going to get everyone to roll me initiative for this bit.
Sorry,
Please-
guys. Grinner
please
just wouldn't
and
have
thank
had that.
Look, it's fair
No,
enough.
that's fine.
You know, that kid had been inside you. You knew what he was about.
That's right.
To be fair, the other one had been in me too, so I was equally mad.
Grinner, yours was
No,
a
it's a weird
6.
sentence, isn't it?
Jonor, yours was a 20. Just make sure to click on your tokens next time when you roll initiative.
Oh, did it not?
Luther 17, Elizabeth 7, Theodore 6, Grinner 6. All right, perfect. So everyone is now in order. Jonor, you're actually the first to act. You and Luther are still up in the top room as this like goes off. Jonor, what would you
How
like
much
to
of
be
this
doing?
conversation can we hear exactly
Not
what's being
really.
said, or is it just
No,
like
it's-
they're on and off and
it's pretty
him
f-
getting mad.
It's
him
pretty
getting,
far
like,
away.
all worked up.
Yeah, you
I'll
don't
probably
hear much at
really,
all.
like, I'll probably just like almost like I'm just probably like Jonor, like we need to go. Like they're like in deep shit.
Yeah, look, hearing them.
I think I can see Grinner getting a little angry, so we're gonna go.
Yeah, I'm hearing the blow up like escalating. It's like, oh, here we go again. He
Take your, book,
first.
take your book of runes and all that. Like whatever you just transcribed, like we'll take that with us now.
Yeah. Is it fine if I written that down?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, sweet. Okay, cool. Close the books and then he uses the movement to get close as he can.
Did you want to use your dash action to
Yeah, if he couldn't get there to start with, he was then going to dash.
30,
So
35, 40, 45? Yep, so you can get to here with your full dash, right behind
okay,
Grinner.
sweet.
You might not want to be that close. Maybe there.
Yeah, he gets to that point and sees and is like, "Oh, okay, there she is." That's action, movement, nothing else.
Yep. Okay. Luther, you're up next. I'm guessing the same thing.
This portcullis, is it completely like
Completely up. You're not going to be able to get through here, as far as you're aware. Like maybe if you could find a way to lift it or open it, but from where
So
you
I can't
are,
go over it, like through.
no, it's from the roof down, completely closing off this section with iron bars.
That's cool. I just wanted to make sure. From where I could see, I couldn't see 13 figures, could I?
No, you can't see them from where you are. They're arranged around the side walls.
Because then it'd be like I just noticed one little thing. Like I noticed. I actually counted this. I think there's 13 trinkets in here.
There are.
And there's 13 figures.
Yep, that's correct.
Can you ping where I can see these figures, Owen?
They're all around. Everywhere those pillars are is a figure standing right behind it.
So is there any right in front of us where we've barreled out into here?
Right next to you, Theodore. There's one right next to you there, and there's one right next to Tithla just underneath, towards the south.
So, like, because I spent a bit of time in this room, I'm just gonna like take it with me that I know there's 13 in here.
Yep.
But I don't know there's 13 figures, so I probably haven't correlated that yet.
Yep. And
So,
what would... Yeah.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Because there's 35 movement. Can I do any cool actions? No, not really. I'll get my bow. I'll get my crossbow out, ready to like sort of. I'll like.
Yep.
Oh shit! That's
I'll
what I
sort of
punched.
Get it ready.
This is what she turns into. Elizabeth's go. As she looks at you.
I'll dash as well. Sorry, and I'll move.
Yeah, you'll dash up. No, that's absolutely fine. Grinner, as she looks at you and goes, perhaps you won't be able to help me after all. You watch as her face changes, taking on this much more monstrous appearance. Arms twisting and turning into these long claws. Face twisting, large, almost like vampire-like teeth pushing down from her jaw. Ears pulling up into this pointed appearance. And as she looks at you, Grinner, you need to make me a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, I'm so good at these.
In fact, actually, sorry, each non-undead creature within 60 feet. So that's everybody. I need everyone to make me wisdom saving throws.
Is it within that range or inside?
60 feet who can see her.
Oh, okay. I can't actually see her then.
You can't see her from there, so Luther's the only one who doesn't make this as she transforms. Grinner, that's a 17. Theodore, 14. Tithla, 8. 8's not good. 13 for Jonor. 13's
no,
not... Oh?
8 is the best.
Okay. Okay. No, that's all good. So, who passes this? Grinner passes, Theodore passes, Tithla fails, Jonor passes. Tithla, you're terrified of this creature. She is frightening to you. You are terrified of her for 1 minute, or at the end of each turn, you can repeat your saving throw.
Not again.
As she, I know, sorry. As she stares down at Grinner, she opens her mouth and lets out this horrific wail. All creatures that can hear her within 30 feet must make a saving throw. That is a Constitution saving throw. That is Luther as well. Luther, Jonor, Theodore, Grinner, Tithla. 13's good. 18's good. 18's good.
Is this
Do you let
a
us-
spell and or magical?
It is not a spell or a magical effect.
All right, then I don't get advantage. Great. Good to know. Here comes the -1 con save. Oh no, wait, no, I have the Bjornling. Ignore that roll. I have the Bjornling's roll.
Bjornling. Oh, no, so that's right. We'll just add the plus of the Bjornling. So what's the Bjornling's Constitution plus?
+3.
+3. So that's a 4 plus 3 is a 7.
Do you use inspiration? Like, I forget if we use it. Like,
You can use it afterwards. You can use it retrospectively. Inspiration's special.
Okay.
You can use it retrospectively. So you can roll first and then use it if you like.
Okay.
18. So yeah, I figured you might not. Let me put on some slightly more appropriate music. I'm thinking...
I would, however, like to use my inspo for that.
Yes, you
if
can.
that-
Yeah, absolutely. Yep, you can.
I've got fucking goosebumps.
Roll me again your con save. What was that, sorry? 22. Yeah, I can see that. That's much better.
Yeah, I'll take that.
All right, let's
Much
put
better than
on...
a 3.
Let's just see how loud this gets. There we go. This'll do. As she lets out this cry, all of you clap your fingers to your ears as this cry begins pushing through. You feel it strike into you, burning through your soul as this thing crashes across you. As all of you pass, you don't take the full effect of this. You only take the part damage. That is 8 hit points damage to all of you as this is let out, as all of you pass. Yep. She is then going to move back out of range towards the center of the dais. That is going to... so as you do so, it just passes through her. As you watch as she goes into this ghostly apparition and moves back into the center, into this incorporeal movement. As she moves her way back to there. That's her...
She's floating?
She's floating above the ground and is partially transparent. Grinner, you're up next.
Right, okay. I would like to rage.
Yep, you may rage.
And can I please pull out of my bag the tooth wrapped in silver wire that I just put in there?
Yeah.
How long is it? Is it a human tooth?
No, it's almost like a dog canine. It's pretty small. It's about the half the length of a pinky finger.
Okay, so yeah, teeny tiny. I'm gonna just kind of wedge that in my knuckles, so it's not really, it's just there with the silver on it. And I'm gonna launch myself at her.
Okay, so you can make a running jump. Your strength, I think, is a 14, isn't it? So yeah, you can probably make the jump. Could you make an athletics check to see if you can leap this gap?
I can do that, which is there.
Don't roll a 1.
Does this water seem quite deep, Owen?
Dark and murky. You have no idea how far away the bottom is. Grinner, you make a running jump and land on the steps of the dais.
Good. I want to punch her.
Yeah, make me an attack.
Good. Do I get any things for this little toothy with the silver?
You don't know.
Okay, cool.
Make an attack and let's see. 19 hits, absolutely. And 5 bludgeoning damage as you punch her in the face. As you punch at her, your fist partially goes through her, and you get the sense it doesn't have the same force as it would against something physical and tangible. I'm
just like this whole time through the leap, through the pulling everything out of the bag. I'm just there going, cut.
Okay, try and limit it a little bit. Otherwise, I'm going to get hit with a language strike warning.
Okay,
just not too much. Anything else in your turn, Grinner?
No, he's just very angry.
Alrighty, we'll pass it over towards Theodore. Theodore, it is your turn next.
Have any of those 13 dudes started doing anything differently?
Nah, they're just standing there, saying their repeating sequence of phrases.
You know what? I'm still going to slap one.
Okay, yeah,
the one
sure.
right beside me, I'm going to put their claw through him.
Yeah, make an attack. 15. 11 damage. The bear claw just goes right through this thing as if it's not there. And as your claw strikes the stone underneath, the figure doesn't move, doesn't change, continues to chant.
Oh, I don't love that.
It's this one. I want like a good...
do I notice anything about that altar on the dais?
You can see from here that it is covered in this dark black dried blood, and the chains hanging from the roof clearly suspend people over this dais. And as you look at it, you can see that at the foot of the dais are a series of very out of place objects. They look to be made of maybe brass or electrum or copper, and there's a series of runes carved into them that you don't recognize. And as you look at it closely, you can see that there are wires made of this same material digging into the stone underneath and actually wrapping up around the pillars around the room. And as you look at them closely, you can see these same sort of objects. They almost look to be kind of like artificer designed objects, these creations of metal bound with these glowing runes that pulse ever so softly and slowly with this red light.
In the pillar right beside me?
All the pillars, yeah, but the pillar right beside you as well, yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna try and hit that.
You may attack against that?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know how the multi-attack... Does multi-attack have to be against the same... It just says makes 2 attacks.
Just makes 2 attacks, yeah. So this can be your... Oh, so you can't do 2 claws. You'll have to do a bite. Yep.
All right, I will.
That's right. So what we'll just change it. So you rolled a 10. What is it plus for your bite?
This is the same modifier.
So 16 to hit, and then the damage you rolled and then roll again for the damage because it is different. It's completely different dice. I've realized.
Yes, it is too.
So we'll just take the damage from this, but you'll still hit with a 16. 9, nice. As you clamp down and bite into this section of what looks to be some broken runic area, you crack down on it. As you do so, that's almost enough. You watch as you bite down and crack into this section of jagged, broken metal cracks open, and it begins leaking this energy, this pulsing, almost like rainbow-like energy leaking out from the center of this rune, forming illusionary flames in front of you.
Cool.
Alrighty. Anything else on your turn, Theodore? Do you want to move at all?
No, I'm happy staying where I am.
Perfect. Tithla, you're up next. You're right next to one of these pillars as well.
So, rules question.
Hello.
Hunter's Mark
Yes.
is active for an hour,
Yes, it is.
and the rule says if the target drops below 0 hit points, and it was on a spectre from earlier,
Yep.
before the spell ends, you can use a bonus action on a subsequent turn.
Yep.
Not the subsequent turn. So
It's
does
also
that
a
mean that
concentration
now
turn.
I can mark Lizzie with that same hunter's mark because it's been less than an hour, because it is now a subsequent turn?
I will
did it
agree with
die?
that.
It's
Yeah.
also
Concentration.
concentration as well, so
Yeah.
it's been running the entire time for that hour.
Did it die though? Didn't it float into the ground?
Oh, did it die?
I'll tell you now that when you broke the crystal, it did. So yes, I will allow that. Absolutely, you can move
So
the
I
hunter's
guess I
mark
should make a
across.
concentration check for that 8 damage that
Yes.
we just took.
Definitely. So just you need to beat a 10 with your Constitution save.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
6. Oh, I'm so sorry.
It is less than 10.
It is. I'm so sorry.
I can numbers.
Yep.
No.
Okay, well, seeing what Theo's done there, I want to, and it looked like it did something, but it didn't get all the way.
Yep.
I want to try and shoot at that little rune or whatever it is.
Yeah,
that's
brilliant.
Going on in there.
Roll me an attack.
The same
with
one I hit, or
disadvantage.
the same one I hit, or the other one.
The same one that you hit
Yep.
to try and.
So not with
Polish it
disadvantage. Yes, with disadvantage because Elizabeth's in
Because I'm
line of sight.
frightened.
Yeah. Sorry, buddy. And then at the end of your turn, you can re-roll that to see if you're still frightened. 14 still hits. Roll me some damage because it's an object stationary in a wall. 7 damage. That's enough. As you strike it, could you please roll me a d6?
Yarg.
I want to see what happens with this runestone. Which elemental effect is triggered? 1. Fire burst. Each character not in contact with the water and inside the room must succeed on a DC 12 dexterity saving throw. Grinner, Theodore, Tithla. As this rune is broken, the room fills with fire. It just explodes outwards from this room. I need all 3 of you to make me dexterity saving throws,
Grinner in
please.
contact with the water?
Grinner's not. He's on the steps. He deliberately jumped onto
Okay.
the steps.
Okay.
15 for Grinner. That's good.
Big 5 for the Beyondling.
Big 5 for the Beyondling. 17 for Tithla. The Beyondling is going to take some damagios. Sorry. That is
right
going to
next to
be only 1 damage.
No, not the 1 damage.
So bad. I rolled a 1 on a d8. That is 1 point of fire damage as the rune explodes. As this runestone is destroyed, you watch as the water around the dais begins to bubble a little bit. The altar itself begins to vibrate with this energy. Anything else on your turn, Tithla?
No, I think that's it. She's afraid, and that was a win.
Perfect. Jonor, you're up next.
Roll for your being afraid.
Oh yeah, roll for being afraid. Make me a wisdom saving throw, please. Let's see if you're no longer afraid. 8. No, you're still
Is it an
afraid.
8?
Yeah, no, still afraid.
Okay, great.
Still
Still
afraid.
spooked.
Jonor, back up to the top. It is your turn. You can see this ghostly figure on the central dais looking down at Grinner.
Yeah. So 2 things come to mind. He's just spent 10 minutes listening to this passage over and over again. That's going to be on his mind. He is actually, he's in pretty bad shape. He's going to limp his way sort of up and then realizes, he would have known there's
there's no doorway there.
right?
You know, you would know
all
that.
right. Yeah. He's gonna go out there. He knew that there's 11. There's like some phrase going on. How many different sections of the phrase there? He's gonna see if he can connect the dots of if there's
13.
13 phrases. And he's seen that there's a rune on the side there, and people are destroying it. He's like, there were 13 phrases in the chant, and then he just hurls a fireball at any of the random ones. So let's say the one at the top there.
Yeah, perfect.
Fireball and fireball.
Yeah, you throw a firebolt at the pillar towards the north. Absolutely. Roll me an attack. 24 is going to hit 2 fire damage. Nice. As you fling this firebolt across, it strikes the rune, and the rune cracks a little bit and begins to glow.
Guys, there's 13 everywhere. It's just there's something going on here. It looks back at Elizabeth and is like pretty scared of her, and then ducks back away again.
Nice.
Get out of the way.
Luther, I pass over to you.
Okay, I'm gonna move in. So 5, 10. I'm gonna get a good look of the whole room. Just get a sort of a bit of a idea in his head. Seeing the 13 figures, now that they've done damage to some of the runes, is the 13 figures still 13?
No, Luther, the one next to Theodore seems to have vanished.
Okay. And
Jonor would recognize now that one of the passages is missing. It's now down to 12 phrases.
could I do... Okay, so could I do a little check just to see, to put 2 and 2 together instead of going all the way back into that room with the 13 things?
Do you want to make me an Arcana check, see if you figure out something?
Yeah, okay, let's do that. And that
Natural
one,
1, 2. Nah, there's in your mind, there's no connection. This is what's happening. This is the room where everything's happening. This is the room where it happened, right? Like this is. You want to be in the room where it happens. The room where it happened.
Okay, I'll stay here.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so Elizabeth's not really taking much damage from us.
So far, it doesn't look like she's taken much damage at all. Yeah, if anything, you can't see any sign of damage on her ghostly form.
So what rune did Jonor attack?
The one right next to the passageway out of the north. So the one in front of the grate.
Well, first things first, actually. I'm going to do a bonus action, second wind. And get some HP back. So 7 plus 2, get 9 HP back.
Yep.
Cool. And then I'm going to take a shot at that one with my crossbow.
Yeah, make me an attack.
20,
5 damage. Nice. So 7 damage it's taken so far. Ooh, getting closer. Anything else on your turn, Luther?
I'm going to slink back in.
Elizabeth, sort of watching you guys destroying the runes, looks back in confusion. But how did you know that is what I needed you to do to break the curse? Why did you attack me if you were just going to help me anyway? And then she's going to strike at Grinner. Called her a number of names she wasn't a fan of. Grinner, I'm guessing a 19 hits you?
I'll have to check. Yes.
That's going to be 11 necrotic damage.
Awesome. Okay.
How you doing, buddy?
Grinner's unconscious.
Okay, Grinner, that is a fall to 0 hit points. I need you to roll me a Constitution saving throw to see if you take an injury against necrotic damage. The DC is 11.
Oh, yeah.
8. That is an injury. Could you please roll me a flat D20 and I will tell you which injury you are taking. Do not roll a 1. This is a bad time for a 1.
Here it comes.
18. 18 out of all the ones you could get for necrotic, 18's not too bad. Grinner, as you fall unconscious, as her hand just punches through your face and grabs something inside of you and tears it out, your life essence. Patches of grey skin resembling that of a corpse begin pushing across, blooming across your chest and down one of your arms. This results in no significant impairment, but appears unsightly as you take a skin discoloration. So one of your arms and part of your chest now appear like that of a corpse.
I'll add that to the list. I've got plenty of that.
Yep. As Grinner drops to 0 hit points and collapses onto the stairs, his body begins sliding into the water on the angle that he is in. He does not go into the water, but his legs go into the water. So he's not fully immersed.
Look at his toes.
Elizabeth looks down at Grinner floating in the thing and looks up and goes, "Well, the rest of you are being so helpful. Please continue. You can break this curse now." Grinner, that is going to immediately be a death saving throw.
Oh boy. That is... What is that? That's just a flat 20, isn't it?
Just a flat d20 for a death saving throw.
I can't
Actually, no,
see why
sorry.
they roll
I do run them as con saves, actually, so you can use your constitution modifier for that. It makes sense to me, so I do run it as a constitution saving throw for a death save.
Sweet.
17. Not bad at all. That is one success.
Yeah, like a -1 for con now.
But in bear form.
If I lose bear form before I go unconscious.
Oh, that's a shame. Theodore, you're up next.
You described a bunch of brass and electrum objects out on the dais.
Yeah.
Can you give me a little more details on those and what they did when the pillar broke?
They begin to vibrate, causing the entire dais to vibrate as well. You can see that the electricity crackles along the wires up onto the dais, and the whole altar seems to vibrate slightly under this force as the rune is released. What was that? Sorry.
Well, it's like little
They look almost like a collection of small domes of brass with these silver wires running through them, and inside you can see sections of coiled flat springs marked with a series of runes that begin twisting and vibrating, causing the entire dais to vibrate.
I'm gonna head over towards them.
As you sploosh down into the water, you drop 5 feet into the water. You can't touch the bottom at first, and as you sploosh in and begin swimming, you swim over to the dais and clamber up onto the dais. Yeah.
I head over to. Are they spaced all around, or are they like in a little cluster? Those items.
They're across the dais. It looks like this dais was once some constructed altar-like thing, but it has been actually almost desecrated to fill it with these components. These are a late addition. You can see where the masonry has been cracked through on this dais made of stone. Wires have been fed through hastily. All of the additions, all of these metal fixtures, the brass and electrum and silver fixtures, are not part of the original design. These have been added later. And they cover the entire surface of the dais.
Oh, there's heaps of them, are there?
Yeah, the entire dais. And as you look in, you can see the dais is actually filled with them. It is hollow and filled with what looks to be gears and machinery.
I try and just smash a couple of these metal things.
Fantastic. Would you like to roll me a bite attack and a claw attack, please? 13 and 11. Both will hit because it's a stationary object. I'll move you here just so you can actually reach it. Probably there.
So are they there?
The altar, yeah, it's the altar itself.
On the altar, okay, yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll put you there. Both will hit 5 and 6. As you smash into these, Theodore, all of the runes around the room pulse, and thick white smoke, almost resembling mist, begins billowing out of the altar, and as it lies across the surface of the water, you can see that it is the same mist that you interacted with outside, pouring out of this machinery.
What was Elizabeth's reaction to me doing that?
She turns, looks down, and smiles broadly. Yes, the curse will finally be broken. I will be freed. Thank you. Thank you so much, strange bear creature. Yeah.
All right, that's my turn then.
Alrighty. Tithla. You're muted, Jacob. You're still muted, Jacob.
And no, he's frozen.
That's a face. Uh-oh. Alright. We may have to come back to Tithla. Oh no, he's... Hello? No, we can't hear you, sorry, buddy.
Bow?
He's doing a bow shot. Go on then. I'm assuming at the one that's already been damaged.
What you shoot?
Yeah. Or is he typing?
Not if it's here.
Is he shooting at this one? He's typing. Okay. Attack her. Oh, okay. Yes. Go ahead. Make me a strike with disadvantage. That's a natural 1. As the arrow flies, it strikes into the altar next to Theodore. Can you roll me damage, please? 9. It just strikes into the altar and sparks fly off. Anything else on your turn, Tithla? Nothing else. All right, cool. Jonor, it is your turn. You see none of this.
He's
cowering like a coward back in the corridor.
Yeah, that's right. He wobbles forward. So what type of damage was it when she wailed out?
It was psychic damage.
Yeah, okay. He's going to be like sort of stumbling around, getting to the edge there, use a bit of movement to see. And two things are going to immediately strike him. He sees the mist again. Is it just covering everywhere on the ground?
Pouring out of the altar and collecting on the water. It's not high enough yet that it's on the balcony surrounding the dais, but it is sort of creeping up across the surface of the water and slowly filling the room where the water is.
So it's this one closest to him?
That's been damaged and gone. The smoke is actually billowing out of the altar in the center of the dais where Theodore has struck it.
Right.
Can you hear me now? Sorry?
Yes, we can hear now.
Yeah. Tithla would say, "Don't attack her. Attack her. Don't attack it. Don't attack she wants these things destroyed."
I mean, there's still a more important thing here. Sees Grinner, laying down on the ground, being starting to slide down like a slope into the water.
Yep.
He's going to try and move down there to get close to him. Does he jump down, or is it just sort of a walk?
Yeah, you have to jump 5 feet into the water, and as you do, you will drop into the water so that the mist is actually above your head.
Okay. He's going to try and take a leap to get over to Grinner.
Ooh, what's your strength? Can you make me an athletics check, please, Jonor?
Where are we?
I suspect Jonor's about to sploosh into the water. 13, no, that's enough. You take a running jump and land on the dais next to Grinner and Elizabeth. As you just say, you can see Grinner's sort of head lolling, this grey skin blooming across his chest and arm.
He's seen enough weird shit to sort of look past the awful skin. He grabs him and just tries to pull him back out of sinking from the water just to sort of secure him.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, you can just drag him back up onto the dice. I'd just say that's just your movement. So you've moved, you're up there 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Oh no. Okay, you use your action to dash and pull him further onto the dice. Yep. Cool.
Great. And I can't really sustain him or anything. I think that's an action to help him recover. So,
alrighty.
He's seeing the mist there. He's gonna be torn between helping Grinner and the mist, and he's that's it.
Grinner's fine.
Luther, it is your go.
Okay, I'm going to move 5, 10, 15, move in next to Tithla.
Mm-hmm.
Elizabeth, she's sort of she's got a big grin on her face.
Well, she looks relieved. It's not a grin it's not a malicious grin, it's a grin of relief. Like she is, and you can see her face is slowly transforming back into that of the ghost form before, the more humanoid appearance. Yeah.
I'm going to try and talk to her.
Okay. Yeah.
Instead of just we've been wailing on her pretty from the get-go. So, Elizabeth, how did you find yourself sort of stuck in here?
She turns towards you, Luther.
I was trapped down here. A ritual that we thought would help heal and prolong our lives went so very wrong. I was turned into this, and trapped here. And I have been stuck here ever since. I need to disrupt this ritual. It is a curse. It keeps this whole house and everyone in it from being able to die. Please, you must help me disrupt this ritual, to break it.
Just having a quick look at my notes.
She's a liar. Look at what she did to Grinner.
To be fair.
Insight that cow.
To be fair.
Grinner's dead and gone. We'll never be able to speak to him again.
Elizabeth, you're trapped here and all that, but what's with the hanging bodies? What's with the desecration of the altar?
Desecration? We needed to fix it.
Why did you murder that maid.
You watch as her face
Cold
sort of
blood.
turns a bit dark.
Margaret, my husband Gustav betrayed me. He turned against me, took her, put a child in her. He humiliated me in front of the whole town. But it's okay. I can fix everything. I just needed to get the ritual to work properly. But we didn't have enough energy. Didn't
What's
have
the,
enough force to make it
What
work.
is the ritual for?
To bring life. Everlasting life.
Yeah, go.
Everlasting life.
Everlasting
okay.
life.
21. I'm basically insight checking her to see A, if she's like telling the truth.
Yeah.
B, like, is she like basically like sugarcoating a lot of this? Is there like a more darker malice down somewhere in her like intentions? Like, is she trying to mask her? Yeah.
Luther, when she spoke about the situation with Gustav and Margaret, that's what she believes 100%. She believes that her husband betrayed her and put a child in Margaret deliberately to humiliate her, to make her life hell. You get the sense she's telling the truth about the ritual, that it is designed to give everlasting life and that they couldn't get it to work properly. You get the sense that she's telling the truth about what she has said so far, about to break the curse on this house, the ritual needs to be disrupted. You don't get the sense she's lying. You do get this...
Curse?
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, was the curse like after the device or before?
You don't know.
Okay. You were going to say something on, what was it?
You get the sense that there's more she's not said. A lot more. But she hasn't told any outright lies so far.
Elizabeth, how...
I'm pausing initiative, by the way. I've paused it at this point.
Yep. Because she's not really like attacking.
Actually, no. I can't pause it. No, I can't pause it because Grinner's taking death saves. So no, I have to keep going. So that is, I'm going to say that is your turn there, Luther. That is definitely your 6 seconds to ask him.
I just want to ask her one question before you end it. Then
I'm going to say that you use your action then, and this will be your full turn.
Oh yeah, no,
cool.
I'm using my full action to talk.
Yeah.
This
In that
out.
case, then I'm happy to do that.
To it.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much longer we'll get out of it, but
you can ask another question.
Like bonus action
We'll tell you what, she can use her turn as well, so we can combine your turn. So yeah, go ahead and ask a question.
Was the curse placed before or after the ritual?
The curse was the ritual gone wrong. We tried a number of times to make it work, but we could not do it. I just needed the right amount of energy. And when I did...
What was the cost of the ritual?
What was the what, sorry?
What was the cost? As in, like, I'm basically like, did you sacrifice anyone for this everlasting life?
The price for life everlasting was life. But please, I regret my actions so completely. I was wrong. I tampered with forces I did not understand. You must break this curse. Please. Existence is agony. For me and for everyone else in this house. And for you as well now that you have entered. You are all trapped here. Unless you break this, you will suffer the same fate as all who have entered the house before you.
And that's her full turn as well.
Yep.
Grinner?
I just wanted to ask a question, not to her, but
Yep.
to you, Owen.
Yep.
Like going through the house and getting like some of my insights on her character and the sort of the events that transpired, looking at the journal, and hearing her now talk about how she's like, you know, she's literally sacrificed people for this ritual, and she says that she's like, you know, deeply like guilty about that.
Yep.
All the history leading up to this and my insight check before and her like holding a lot of stuff back, is she actually guilty?
From your insight check from before, you don't get the sense she's lying about this.
Cool. All right.
She definitely sacrificed lives. I mean, you've seen the bodies of some of the people who were kept here. Who those people were, you don't know. And how many, you don't know either. Grinner, that is a death saving throw.
You got this, buddy.
15, that's a pass. Theodore.
Also, I re-rolled.
Your
my
fear,
wisdom
yeah, I saw that.
save.
Yep.
What would
Yeah.
I do?
My conversation with her is sort of like really throwing this up in the air.
It's not that simple.
No, but she did murder a lot of people.
But I don't see any other way out either.
What would you
Yeah.
like to do, Theodore?
Theodore's just gonna hold off for a moment. I'll hold my. If she becomes aggressive, I'm going to
Smash her.
attack her. Yeah.
Yep, perfect. Absolutely. Tithla?
Tithla's going to try and go over, assuming that 19 saved.
Yes.
Fear.
Yes.
Go over to Grinner and use.
Are you
a healer's
swimming, or are you going to try and jump it?
She'll just swim.
All right, cool. Yeah, you just drop into the water, swim over, use your healing kit to stabilize Grinner. Grinner, you're no longer making death saving throws. That's your action and movement. Tithla, was there any more you wanted to do? You could still move a little bit more if you wanted, or use your bonus action.
Yeah, we'll probably just then get out of the water and come back over here.
So to climb up onto this, it's a 5-foot drop down. You're probably going to have to swim over to the stairs to get out from there.
Okay.
You
We'll
can't
do
just
that
climb
then.
back up onto the balcony. Yep, so you've gone 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Perfect. Alrighty, as we get back to the top of the round with Jonor, the room sort of vibrating ever so softly, the mist pouring out of this central altar in the middle of the dais. That is where we're going to pause for tonight, because we have gone a little bit over, and by a little bit, I mean we've gone almost 40 minutes over our normal runtime. So we are going to keep it there for the moment and come back and resolve this next time, because there's a lot of different ways this could go right now. Almost all of them are not going to be solved in a couple of rounds. This is going to be an ongoing thing. So that's where we're going to pause it for tonight, and we will we'll come back again. That's going to finish things real quick as she just eats you. That's where we're going to pause for tonight, and we will be back again. Yeah? Yes?
That
Tithla?
pile of bones over there.
Not a pile of bones. It's a collapsed in section of the roof and wall. It looks like maybe this was once a passageway, but it's just collapsed and piled in and formed
I was like, is that all her sacrifices?
No,
All the bones going. Jesus.
no, it's not a pile of bones. It's just a collapsed in section of the roof and wall. Alrighty, lovely people. Thank you so much for coming and joining us. We will be back again next Monday live on Twitch at 6:30 Australian Eastern Standard Time or 7:30 Australian Daylight Saving Time. Otherwise, if you're watching this on YouTube or the podcast, thank you so much. You know the drill. Hit the like, subscribe, whatever button, and make sure you go and check out Tyranny of Dragons if you haven't already done so, our other D&D campaign that has been running for a very, very, very long time and is almost up to its 100th episode. If you have enjoyed our sort of style of things, you'll definitely like Tyranny of Dragons as well. It's very, very similar in terms of the style and the tone. Just forgive us the earlier sessions. I learned a lot in the first sort of few weeks of running an online live stream D&D campaign. I promise the visuals get a lot more interesting after about episode 10. But before that, there's not a lot to see. It's a better one to listen to as a podcast early on. Thank you so much, everybody.
Podcast.
Thank you.
Those early ones.
Thank you. Thank you so much, everybody. We will be back again next week. Until then, stay safe, stay well, and see you all again next time. Farewell, everybody. Goodbye. Bye.